You want to duck, just go over and get onto the bench and stay there.
You play to win the game.
My message for the fans, we're all frustrated with where we are right now.
Jets. There he is. What's up, everybody? I am psyched. I'm in the best mood I've been in since hanging out with you guys. How's that sound? This is our first September Victory Thursday thick of it together. Can you believe we've never done this before? Never. The whole time we've been hanging out for years. This is the first time. I'm in a good mood. Welcome, everybody. I am GreenBean, and again, this is a Thursday thick of it. We are on the heels of one of the greatest comebacks in New York Jets and NFL history. Can you believe it? Week 2, we're already cracking walls and dams. We're breaking molds, and I am psyched about it. I'm happy to get started with you guys, but before we do, let's bring on Mr. 7-2 himself. If you want to lock on who's going to win, the man I'm about to bring on is 7-2 so far this year. 7-2, Frankie from Flatbush. What's up, duder?
Yeah, happy Victory Thursday, everybody. It's not too often we can say that.
I'm telling you, man. And this early, though, Frankie. I mean, we've had a smattering of wins here and there, but never September. What is
not
this,
against
man?
these opponents?
No, the NFL set us up to be, just brutalized in September. And we've already come away with a victory. And what's fun is they're actually playing already again tonight. And we get to see if they're angry or if we gave them a right cross that they're not exactly woken up from yet, Frankie.
Well, they're already having players-only meetings. They're kicking the coaches out of the room. Listen, everybody, we cannot be losing to the Jets. This is unacceptable, and all this kind of thing. And I think that's hysterical. I think it's lovely, and I think we should do more of it this season.
That's right. What a thing. Like we saw all these kids out there, these Cincinnati fans. I'm not sure if I feathered some through this week's Greenbeanjetsfan. Some of these Browns fans that seem to have completely forgotten which organization they are actually fans of. And they're talking about the New York Jets as if the Browns are the Dallas Cowboys or the Patriots or the Chiefs of this year. You know what I mean? It's like, who the hell do you guys? You guys have done nothing in forever. They have a handful of victories. I think they made it to the playoffs once. They have one playoff victory in 30 years or something like that. Like, can we calm it down a little bit? It's not, you're losing to the New York Jets. You're the Cleveland Browns, Frankie. Am I off base here?
Well, they do have rightly so, I think, high expectations. I mean, if you look at that roster, the only thing that could hold them back is the quarterback position. But then again, you look at Jake Brisket, and he played like John Elway against us. So
we do that.
We do that to people. We turn everybody into John Elway.
Yes, we do.
So, but I think that Browns fans are right to be expecting to be in the Super Bowl window. Now they have to go do it, because they have the roster. Like their roster is extremely solid. It's hard to find a problem with it. So, but they got to go do it now. I mean, that's right. Then they did the whole Deshaun Watson thing, and now they're up to Jake Brisket. So, we'll see, but it'll be interesting.
Jake Brisket. So, you know what, Frank? You want me to tell you what happened? I mean, look, we're all dissecting and we're film reviewing and we're analyzing. And was Corey Davis so good that he made that happen? Was Mike LaFleur so good that he set it up all game, as Connor Hughes smartly, very impressively, actually put it out there using next gen stats? I'm not sure if you saw it on Twitter. But everybody's saying all these different things. Like Mike LaFleur he set that up all game. He set it up. It was beautiful, brilliance. And I mean, if that's the case, I love it. But what really happened is this, Frankie. This is everybody's thoughts aside. I've been waiting to today to tell everybody, guys, just open your ears. Here's what happened. The Cleveland Browns thought the game was over. and it wasn't. That is what happened. Now, they gave us some gifts. The Chubb thing. Now, let me tell you something. When Chubb ran around the edge and DJ Reed missed a tackle and then another guy missed a tackle, that felt like a dagger to my heart. You know what I mean? Like, shit, now we're down 2 scores with 2 minutes. But our coaches and our team, and Garrett Wilson famously now said that Miles Austin ran up to him and said, that was it. They just gave it to us. That's our only chance to win. They just gave it to us. We need to make good. So they did. They gave us those gifts. At the same time, it is on us to capitalize, and we had to score 14 points in 1 minute and 55 seconds, and we did it. So while you look, you have to admit, dude, Stefanski's children were on the sideline. CBS had the first time they're 2-0 since 1993 graphic on the screen. All the beat reporters were already putting out the Jets suck. They were outplayed in the fourth quarter. Blah 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 blah. Everybody had thought the game was over, except the New York Jets. And that's what happened. So, Frankie, I'm glad you listened, but that's the truth. All the other stuff aside, they thought the game was over, and Joe Flacco decided to throw the ball 66 yards in the air to basically jogging Corey Davis at that point. What do you think of that?
Corey, can you hustle a little bit? We only have so many seconds.
Right.
Can you get your ass in the end zone already? What's with the jogging? I understand it was surprising, but you caught the ball. Now hustle a little bit. I didn't get that at all. Didn't come back to haunt us, but it was weird. At the time, I was like, can you run? Run, Corey.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah, it's a funny thing, man. And look, man, one of the things we talked about for a long time, guys, is, this whole offseason, but it started last year, is that we're bringing on these players, right? Joe Douglas, when he came in, his initial press conference, he said, I want players who hate to lose more than they like to win. We want to have the best culture in all of sports. Now, Robert Saleh comes in and he changes a little bit, but he's saying the same thing. He says, we want guys who love the game of football, who would play it for free in the parking lot. That's what we want. We want those guys. Now, when you look at this collection of young men that we've brought in, and some of the vets too, the Carl Lawsons, the Jacob Martins, and on, Quan Alexander, but you look at Garrett Wilson, you look at Elijah Moore, and you look at a kid like, let's take Garrett Wilson on that pass where he jumps up in the air, he does the famous Garrett Wilson 18 feet in the air leap, he catches the ball, and the guy throws him out of bounds, man, and he lands on his back. And in years past, that's it. He's out for 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks. He's back in 5 minutes because this collection of young people that we have right now, and we'll get into Saleh and LaFleur, but just the players themselves, they don't know that they're not supposed to be good, like that they're supposed to suck. Like, no, dude, I can dominate this guy in front of me and I'm going to do it. Look, man, as much as we threw the ball to Garrett Wilson, Elijah Moore was open just as much. It could have been the other way. All the difference had to happen was Joe Flacco had to look Elijah Moore. It would have been the same damn game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He was open just as much as Garrett. Now, I could give two shits. I don't care which way they throw it. And I love that it's our young rookie. I love that it's at his return to Ohio. I love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. But at the same time, man, we have another guy waiting to explode over there because for 2 weeks straight, he's been open all day long, Frankie. What do you think about that?
Yeah, it's absolutely true. In the first game, it was Flacco missing him and having a bad game. Flacco had a good game this time. But the ball just went to Davis, and it went to a lot to Garrett Wilson and a lot to Tyler Conklin, to be honest. And that's just the way it went. So it's just, but the job of the wide receiver is to get open, and Elijah's doing that. We have the data that proves it. Our eyes see it. We have the data that proves it on the routes and everything else. So not worried about Elijah one bit, but we should get everybody involved if we can. But if they're trying to take away Elijah, then you go somewhere else. The good news is, look, we got lots and lots of weapons.
Right.
And when you have lots and lots of weapons, not everybody's going to have 100 yards every game. It just can't happen.
That's right.
So that's a good thing. It's a good problem to have.
And that's the potential that we have. That's what you want, man. Like we've had, even in years past when we have had a guy, and I was listening to O'Leary's show today, this week's Just Jets podcast, Matt O'Leary, one of my absolute favorites. He was talking about We have nice players. Like the Jets have had nice players, but we very rarely, in recent memory anyway, have bona fide, viable superstars. And right now, we're collecting those types of guys. Now, we don't know what Elijah Moore will be. We don't know. I mean, let's be real here. This is one game for Garrett Wilson. I know everybody's already talking rookie of the year and all this shit. It was a great game, but the truth is it's one. That's it. And we've seen this before. So I'm excited as anybody else. All right. And I'm certainly not going to piss on our party. Same time, but he's got the potential to be a bona fide superstar. You got Breece Hall, you got Michael Carter. We have a collection of guys that really could end up being what we would call superstars, over 11, 12, 1,300 yards receiving each year, 11, 12, 1,300 yards rushing each year. We have those guys, and that's what's really exciting. So if they start doubling, and giving safety help over the top on every single Garrett Wilson route, well, guess what? We got another guy that's going to slice and dice you till you bleed to death, and that's Elijah Moore. Oh, somehow you figure out both of them. We got Corey Davis and Braxton Berrios underneath. Oh, and by the way, we got Breece Hall and Michael Carter and Tyler Conklin, who can't seem to hold on to the ball, and all those guys running around.
Yeah, other than the fumbling,
right? And we'll talk. Right, and we'll talk about that. Tyler Conklin, poor Tyler Conklin. He's had 2 fumbles in his entire career. He now has 2 in 2 weeks as a New York Jet. Thank you, Max Mitchell. Thank you. That was a game ender right there. But let's say hello. Now, I want to say hello to some people. Day Boss, he says, why not 2 in a row? He starts up top. Aaron Daniels, check right. Victory Thursday, right on. Bismo Charismo is back with us. Let's go. What's up? What's up with you, Biz? Sluggo's here. 5 times 5 Jetters. Whatever the hell that means. I'm not sure. I love it. Wanna be Beanbagger. What's up, buddy? BG the Kid talking some offensive line. We'll get to there for you, buddy. We'll get to that for you. John Hepburn, our good friend who I met over at the Coney Island Cyclone this past couple weeks ago. Cy Thompson. Now, he says something interesting, Frankie. Jay-Z Jets fan is here. Indiana Jets, my good buddy, who he's a fellow full-time RVer, Frankie.
All right.
So, yeah. I gave him some tips early on and when he was making the leap. So it's good to see you, Indiana Jets. He's a grumbly bastard, this guy, Frankie. He's always in fighting with her. He's on my
maybe it's because he doesn't get to shower very often.
No, he showers every day. Trust me, I did. But the thing is, but he's, of course, you hook up, man. We got hookups. You got your hookup. I know, clearly. It's all right. But you do have an impression, I see. I wonder what Frankie's been thinking of me the last couple of years. He's like, that's gross. He never showers.
How does this guy's wife deal with him? He doesn't shower once every 3 days. What's going on?
But he brings up not Indiana Jets. And no matter what subject I put up, I get comments. He fights with somebody. He's like, you're wrong. That's what he does every single day. That's his role. But wow. So Cy Thompson comes in and he says, wash that jersey again. LOL. Frankie, I don't see you very often on Instagram. So you might not know what that means. Do you know what this comment means? Wash that jersey again?
No.
All right. So I'm going to show you. I'm going to show everybody. If you guys aren't on Instagram, I've put a little bit more of a concerted effort into my reels. I was doing it last year, so I'm just kind of making funny reels, showing you my funny side a little bit. So I want to show you guys, I made a reel of what it would be like if you caught your wife washing your lucky jersey before the big game. Okay. So Frankie, are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
All right, here we go. Now, this is what Cy Thompson's talking about. And I got a bunch of comments saying, yeah, you should probably let her wash it more often because this was before the Cleveland Browns game. Here we go. Let me see the sounds off. All right.
You should be medicated. Fuck you, Brennan. I know you touched my drum set, and I want to hear that dirty little mouth admit it.
Get out of my face, or I'm going to roundhouse your ass.
You swear on your mom's life that you didn't touch it then.
I don't have to swear to shit.
There it is, Frankie. What do you think of that?
That's pure comedy gold. Pure comedy gold, Jerry.
There it is. So that's what Cy Thompson is talking about there. I made one for you today, Frankie. What do you think of this one, buddy? This is for you. This is for Frankie and all you Jets fans, actually. But come on, load up.
You better fix my entire life, you little shit.
What do you think of that, Frankie?
I like it, and he just may do so.
I
He
know.
just may be that good.
But that's how it feels. You look, oh, look at that run. You see that? Jumping up in the air again, Chubb. Chubb, he jumped in the air and drop kicked our damn defensive back and no flags, Frankie. I don't know what's going on. But let's finish saying hello. Travis Preheim is here. What's up, Travis? Duncan McLean is back. Good to have you. Captain K Techno. Good evening to you, sir. Scott Wilson is here. Jets Forever is traditional green heart. Thank you, Jets Forever. Glad you're here, buddy. You know that. Scott Wilson. Our good friend Jin Pak is back. Hello to you. Hank is here. What's up, Hank? Good to see you, man. Who else we got? JETS Mess. Good to have you. His beanbaggers are pouring in. Mark Riz. I saw Harry in here. Harry W's with us tonight. Bradigan, another beanbagger. They're all pouring in together. I think they come in together. They all check in. They meet at a bar and then they come in together, Frankie. That's how it goes. Jeff Otis Brown. It's what's Sundays for dinner. Cincinnati Bengal. I'm with you. Eric Craig is here. This is good, man. You guys are the best. David Goodstein, Anthony G, Frank and Beans time. There it is. The Buffalo Jets fan is here. What's up, Buffalo? You guys know we got an opportunity to meet Buffalo and his lovely wife at the game, the opening day game. That was another bonus. Getting to see so many of the guys that we commune with online here. It's so cool. Frankie's here. That's nice to see. Get your popcorn ready. Dark Soldier. And I got to catch up. Mitt Flair's here. Submissions is here. J-Man Hop. Ali Lewis. Flight Right. Kenobi Clone. Matthias Simon. So many guys. I'm going to catch up down here. And we'll start, Frankie, with our first super chat of the night. I see here. Make sure this is the first one, Jeremy, if you could. It's I got V-Man. Is he first? Yeah, awesome. Okay, V-Man checking in. Thank you for the super chat. He says, off topic, have you ever seen guys fumble the victory formation? Because Browns fans are arguing that the Chubb touchdown was right because they would have fumbled. I actually saw this, Frankie. I saw this argument that, hey, it's better to score the points because, it's just as possible that they could have blown the victory. I do not recall. I think there was a college play, actually. Famously where they botched the victory pose or victory formation snap and the defense got it. Now, can you think of any more? I mean, no matter what, it's rare, very rare, Frank. Can you think of one?
I've never seen one. That'd really be something.
It would be something. So the way I would say that, V-Man, is that they're just trying to justify. I mean, look, they love Nick Chubb, rightfully so. Dude, the guy had 3 touchdowns, man. We're over here talking rookie of the year. We're already putting him in the Hall of Fame, and he had 102 yards and 2 touchdowns. I mean, Nick Chubb, he had 98 yards and 3 touchdowns. And, so they love him. I mean, and rightfully so. I mean, the guy's an absolute stud. He already has 2 big runs tonight. Maybe not big, but very, very nice runs. And the guy's an absolute stud for them. So they're just trying to justify his move. I would say, I would think that's what it is. And look, the Jets, when's the last time the Jets scored 14 points in a minute and 55 seconds, man? So, I think they probably weren't even, honestly, man. I didn't think of it. I didn't think of it till after the game. I was like, all right, well, here we go. I didn't think he shouldn't do that during the game. I was like, well, of course, run it in. Go ahead. Well, right.
I was pissed at our defense.
That's right. Like, and what Jeremy and I were saying is, look, our defense is done. Like, Saleh can't fucking motivate anybody. Like, that's the tone I was taking. It looked to me on that play like people had kind of given up. If you look at the last guy who had a chance to make the tackle, it was kind of a half-assed attempt at a tackle. Now, my perception at the time, I was clearly thinking that we were going to lose. I was in the dumps. You know what I mean? I was feeling gloomy, doomy. I was in that mold, and I looked at a guy. Now, maybe Saleh said, dude, let him go in, man. Let this guy go in. Play the game, but let him go in. We want the ball back. So with as much time as we can. So who knows? And look, it happened. So there it is. Now, as far as Browns fans, just like Frankie said, as much as the Browns organizations over the past however long, man, and even, look, they came back into the league in 1999. They've done literally nothing. I mean, I think they have 2-3 playoff appearances since 1999. The 1993 stuff, that was a different team. The last time they were 2-0 was 1993. That's not even them. Just so you know, that's the Ravens. That's how insignificant this team is. But Frankie brought up a great point. Let's be real here, dude. They are stacked. And we were saying that last week. I mean, they are stacked. That is a talented team. And by the way, a well-coached team. Stefanski's 12-5 at home, now 12-6. But so, I mean, when's the last time we had that? So I think they're sad and angry for a good reason. That said, I think the fact that they're turning it into the New York Jets, that's where I kind of go, all right, let's be real here. You guys suck. You know what I mean? Forever. You're chokers. That's what you do. They got the same chokeritis that we got. You know what I mean? So, Frankie, did you hear this stat? That the last time that that a team that was up by 13 or more with 2 minutes or less lost the game. The last time that a team that was up 13 or more with 2 minutes left lost the game was 2,229 games ago. Way back in 2001. Do you know who it was? You know who lost that game?
The New York Jets.
No, the Cleveland Browns. So that's what I'm saying. Like, dude, if we're going to talk about this is what you do, Cleveland. This is you. You're the only team that's done this in 2,230 games. But
the reality is, make an extra point. Why are you talking about Chubb? Make an extra point, recover an onside kick. Don't blow a coverage. I mean,
right.
What are you talking about Nick Chubb for? Let the guy runs in for a touchdown and you're blaming him. I mean, that's ridiculous.
That's a great point, Frankie. And you're right. Look, if Cade York makes that kick, it's a tie game, goes into overtime. Who knows, man? I mean, dude, we
go for it on two. With Salah, I think Salah said we would have went for it. We would have gone for two on that. So we probably go for it and don't get it, and that's the end of the game.
Yeah.
With our luck.
I would applaud it, though. Like, losing that way, I would applaud it. I would. Because the one thing I want to see from Robert Saleh more than anything else, Frankie, and we talked about this last week, what I want to see from him is aggression. I want to see balls. I want to see going for it. I don't want to see any more like conservative play. I don't want to see playing for the field goal. I don't want to see that. I want to see a man just like Dable in his first two games. He's going out there and he's saying, guys, I believe in you. We're going to take some risks today. And in that game, dude, a first quarter fake punt, that is what's called aggressive football. And that's what I want to see. He saw the opportunity, and probably Boyer saw the opportunity, but somebody said to me, Saleh didn't even know it happened. He was surprised. Baloney. There's no way that Boyer called a fake punt without talking to his head coach. I would be blown away if that happened.
Well, they're all on the headset. I mean, they all know what's
that's what I mean. Like, somebody said Saleh was surprised on the sideline. He might have been surprised that we made it. He might have been surprised that fucking Jeff Smith finally did something.
Braden Mann's the new emergency quarterback, baby.
That's right.
Now we don't need Jeff Smith at all.
That's right. Get everybody out of here. Braden Mann went from 0 to hero in 6 days. And let me tell you, man, he's the AFC Special Teams Player of the Week. Garrett Wilson is the offensive, just rookie of the week.
Rookie of the week. Yeah.
That's it. Now, look, Zach Wilson won 3 Rookie of the Weeks last year. 3. And then the last time they actually took him, they didn't even put him in because they wanted Jamar Chase to get it. They knew that the Jets fans, they'll give him 4. I wonder if Garrett Wilson can we break some records this year? I mean, who? I don't know who's got the most. I think the most is 5, actually. 5 Rookie of the Year. That was, I'd have to look again. I did this last year. But let's have V-Man's back. He says, week 14 Sauce. Week 1 for Sauce. Week 2 for Wilson. Week 3 for Jay. I got you. Okay. I like it. So, Frankie, what he's talking about, I think, V-Man, is that this looks like prime time for Jermaine Johnson to break out. Now, What do you think? What do you think about this? This idea that the Bengals offensive line, who they've put just countless millions of dollars into this offseason, under the tutelage of our previous offensive line coach, Mr. Pollock, they're struggling. Now, it's probably it's the same thing that we see all the time. It's not just the Jets offensive line that needs to gel. When you bring in a bunch of new guys, they got Lael Collins and Kappa and all the guys. So you put these guys in, as good as they are, they're struggling to gel. You know what I mean? They're having difficulty. So what do you think? Is this the week that Jermaine Johnson kind of feasts and preys upon their confusion, or do you see it otherwise?
Well, this week is going to tell us a lot. We should dominate this offensive line. La'el Collins may not even play. He hasn't been practicing this week for whatever the reason. I don't think he's injured, but La'el Collins might be out also.
Oh, wow. I didn't even see that. That's amazing. Crazy.
But the problem is this. The problem is that Zach Taylor's not an idiot, and he's going to look at the tape and he's going to say, I think I see a way to attack this defense. And I think there's a way also to protect Joe Burrow from having 2 ACL injuries simultaneously by getting sacked 10,000 times in a game. And that way is called the screen pass.
Oh, my God. Why would you say such a thing live? Why would you do that? Frankie,
I'm revealing the game plan
what
to
the
all
hell
of
is
you.
the matter with you?
It's going to be screen, Joe Mixon, screen, Joe Mixon, screen,
That's
P.
it.
Ryan, screen. That's what's going to happen on Sunday. And if we can't stop it, I swear to God, I'm going to take my television and throw it out the window and say, get rid of everybody, Albrecht and Saleh and everybody else.
Well, you know what's interesting? I actually, look, you've not, first off, you're 100% right, man. And this has to stop.
Yeah.
Like, this is unbelievable. And look, when we tried screens against the Browns, they covered it. I mean, we get 4 yards. They know what to do. They're ready for it.
On the other hand, they have JOK. Can we get a player like JOK, please?
I know. He's so good, man.
He's so good.
He's so good. And he slid, too. I remember when he was sliding, I was like,
yeah, for some reason. Why the hell did he slide?
That's the thing. That's the thing, man. Like, when you look at the first 3 rounds in particular, it's just tastes. You know what I mean? It's just like systems. Like, guys look at one guy and they go, this guy's
he had
not really
some medical issue or something with his heart or something. But it hasn't stopped him, hasn't prevented him from doing.
He's a monster, dude.
Yeah.
He's a stud. Now, conversely, one of the reasons that we're struggling with the screen passes and just coverage by the linebackers in particular, CJ Mosley is really having a hard time keeping up with. I mean, there was, I think it might have been JetX. I forget. There are a lot of really good breakdowns this week. Everybody's really excited. So a lot came out really fast. And I was like, I was just sucking it up. I don't know who the hell I was watching anymore. But, they were pointing. I feel confident it might have been Sabo, but he was talking about, watch CJ Mosley here. I mean, he's literally unable to keep up with the tight. I think it might have been Njoku. And he couldn't stay with him. So when you're talking about screen passes and such, and they're setting up, and we have a defensive line that has their ass on fire, in Ulbricht's words. Oh my God, big sack. There it goes. Well, I would have liked to see that was a big sack. We got to watch these Steelers defensive line, man. They're beasts.
Oh yeah.
But yeah. So I don't know what I was talking about, Frankie. Something about big fat defensive line. What was I saying? Oh, screen pass. But yeah. So like we don't for like Quan Alexander, Quincy Williams, CJ Mosley. Like they're not able to fill that backfill because we're sending the heat. And that's fine if you want to do that, but that can be exploited if your linebacking core can't keep up. And my question to you, Frankie, is where the hell's Jamie Sherwood then? That's what he does.
Here's what you could do if you're Ulbrich. You can't tell when the other team's going to do a screen, but if they're sort of trending toward 3rd and long screens and they're hitting them, here's something you could try. They won't because they're very stubborn. You could have, it's perfectly within the rules. You could have, I don't know, 3 down linemen and 4 linebackers and have Jamie Sherwood on the field with his speed and with his strength, Florham Park strangler arms that tackles everybody. And you could then, have a much better chance of guarding against a screen because now you have the athletic people on the field instead of the big fat people on the field.
That's right. That's a fantastic idea there, Frankie. Now, Rex Ryan used to do that really well. He would fool you into believing the heat was coming, and he would actually drive. That's how. Remember, famously in the 2010 playoff game, famously one of the things Rex Ryan did was instead of blitzing as much, he had the blitz alignments up. But he just kept dropping everybody back in coverage, and they weren't ready for they couldn't. It was like a different different game plan than they were really prepared for. Now, Belichick obviously can adjust with the best of them, but the damage was already done. And that's the thing. So, like, look, we have this defense that's known, we've hair on fire, all this stuff. And just like Frankie said, how about you line it up, you let them see the look, and then you drop everybody back, and there is no damn screen pass. There's none. Yeah. It's gone. And then he's back there. Holy shit, I got nobody to throw it to. The offensive linemen are now too far downfield. There's flags everywhere. You know what I mean?
But we don't seem to adjust. We just seem to be, this is what we do.
This is what we do.
We don't adjust. We don't change it. We're not doing anything. And to me, that's not coaching. Coaching is adjustments. Coaching is you run away from comfort and you run toward adversity. When something's going wrong, that's when we need a coach. Not when things are going right. We need a coach when things are going badly.
Agreed.
And we need to be able to make more adjustments. And I'm going to be watching that very closely. But the way I've seen this defense play, we don't change it up. We're 4-3 and we're 4-2-5, and that's it. And sometimes dime or something, or something weird at the end of the game or a goal line. But we're just 4-3, 4-2-5. We never change it up, and I don't know why, because everybody knows we suck at screens. Just look at the tape. Look at the tape. It's
we have
Zach Taylor's going to look at it and go, "Oh my God, I see something here."
19 straight games with an inability to cover the screen. I mean,
you might want to change something, right? So it's like if your system that you don't want to change from works great, it works to a T, it's beautiful, great, then don't change it. But it's not working. It's not working. So why can't we change?
I don't know, Frankie. Well, listen, our good buddy Buffalo Jets fan has a question for you. And he says, what is one Jets trend from the first 2 weeks that will hold and one trend that is an outlier? So that's an interesting question. So first of all, we'd have to establish what a trend is. I mean, we're just talking about a trend, the inability to cover the damn screen pass. I think that trend, sadly to say, is going to hold Buffalo. I really do. I'd love to see us all of a sudden be able to take that out of the game. Like, now we're going to do that. I'd love to see it. I just don't buy it. I think that what they're doing, that's the weakness of the defense. And especially if we can't provide any legitimate heat, it's over. I mean, that's a 10 to 15 yard, clip, easy. But so what do you think? So outside of that one, I think that's one. What do you maybe offensively? What do you think? What trend do you see continuing from the first 2 weeks?
Well, one thing that's obvious that's going to continue is the elite level of route running between Garrett Wilson and Elijah Moore. And that's not changing anytime soon, I don't think. Those guys, we have the data. It's been charted. We see it. They're beating man. They're beating zone. They're beating press. They're beating double teams. They're doing it all. And there's, you can feel pretty certain that those two are elite route runners, and that's not changing probably ever. I mean, once you're that good, all you do is get better. You don't get worse, right? So I think you can count on that, which means open receivers, to throw to, which is good news, whether it's Flacco or Zacco or Mike El Blanco, whoever it is, you got to have open receivers. So that's good news. One that's an outlier, I don't know, recovering onside kicks. That's an outlier.
That would be interesting. Yeah. Well, imagine we do another one, or how about another first quarter fake punt? Imagine
punt every game, one fake punt per game.
Frankie? What if we become the fake punt team? You never know when we're doing it, but we're doing it.
Put it on tape. They always say, put it on tape.
Let them have to plan for it. Right on, man. I'm with it. I like that. You know what I would say, Buffalo? You know what I think is going to start happening? And I think, the Rook, Max Mitchell, is a big part of this. AVT has been damn near dominant. Particularly last week.
He's becoming what we thought he could be.
That's right.
Thank God for that.
I know. So right, man. You're 100% correct. Now, sadly, Connor McGovern had 2 penalties, which were
bullshit penalties.
I have to say, dude, they were really walking the line there. It was
come on. Wait a minute. Can we talk about that for 1 second?
Yeah.
I have a question. Why is that even a penalty? I know it is a penalty, but
what,
like
they leaving early?
Yeah. Why can't you have linemen wherever you want? What's the thought behind that being illegal?
That's actually a good question. I know, I mean, obviously we know it's a rule,
yeah, it is.
But I think,
it'd be cool to have those linemen running, or those big elephants running downfield. Let them run.
It's a good point, man. It really is. Like, right, if you want to take that risk and send your big uglies down
Yeah.
the field and leave your quarterback exposed, then fucking do it.
Yeah, who cares? Big deal.
It probably has something to do with like the, kind of getting the opportunity to really hurt people or something like that. I mean, I don't know. It's probably something like that. I have to look. I mean, it's one of those things. It's like a word you always use, and you go, "What's the definition of a word?" And you know the definition, but you're like, "I don't really know what's the definition. I know how to use it. I know what it means, but I don't know how to." It's probably something like that. I mean, truth be told, why don't somebody look that up? Watch UK, man. Why is that a rule with the legal man downfield with the offensive lineman? Like, what's the reasoning behind that? If you wouldn't mind,
Like if you're going to confuse the defense, like you could say, "Oh, there'll be too many people in the pattern out, and the defense might get confused and think that one of the linemen's a tight end or something." But so what? We're supposed to be increasing the offense anyways.
yeah, I like it, dude. This is a hard-hitting game over here, man. I'm really excited. I think Pittsburgh's going to win. Now, Frankie, let me ask you this before we get to Ablab's question here. Is it better for the Steelers to win this game and go into our game kind of on a little bit of a streak?
It doesn't matter.
Come on, it does matter. What do you think?
Not with the
It
Steelers.
doesn't matter.
With the Steelers, man, the standard is the standard. That's their saying. The standard is the standard. It doesn't matter if they lost 2 games, but won 2 games. The only thing you could look at maybe is the quarterback situation, because if Trubisky plays terrible tonight, we might get Kenny Pickett. That's the one thing to look at with the Steelers. Their defense isn't going to change. TJ Watt's going to be out for our game, so that's beneficial to us.
Obviously a benefit. Right.
But other than that, their defense is going to be their defense. The standard is the standard. It's not going to change. And so their offensive line is coming together. Maybe you could look at that and say, are they playing better, in this game like that? And then if Trubisky's terrible and they don't score any points, like they don't have any points right now, then they might make the change earlier than they wanted into Kenny Pickett. And then it's like, okay, we got this rookie, baby hands Pickett. How's he going to do? And
broken thumbs Pickett. Yeah. Baby hands Magoo. And that's good. I would love to get a rookie in his first game. I mean, obviously we are known for making those guys look great. Baker Mayfield most recently, obviously last week with Jacoby Brissett. We do that as an organization. We've done it through all the way back through the annals of time. That's just what we do. We did it last year. I mean, even outside the quarterback with Kyle Pitts. People have their breakout games against the Jets. It's just what we do. But still, if we have a team that is playing well, being maybe even better coached, and they're starting to believe and all that shit, getting a rookie to hopefully confuse and kind of first time in the lights would be a positive. But so listen, Ablab Studios, I have to admit, Ablab, I'm not really sure what you're talking about. I mean, I know what John Bonham is. I know what Moby Dick is. John Bonham, the late great drummer from Led Zeppelin. But Frankie, is this an obscure reference to a football thing that I am unsure of?
I have no idea what's going on with this.
Ablab, we love you, buddy. I'm not really sure what's going on. All right, so Y2K is checking in. So do you have more to write, or is that it? Is that it? Okay. All right. So Frankie and I were asking. Well, Frankie was asking, and I didn't have an answer. Oh, look at Chubb. Why is the illegal man downfield penalty even a penalty? So what is it? So Y2K says it is called when a pass is thrown while a player who is ineligible to catch a pass is at least 5 yards past line of scrimmage. Yeah, you're right. Without blocking anyone. But what we're saying is why? Why is that a penalty? Is there any explanation of that? Thank you. That's very clear. So that's the penalty.
It'd be cool to I like elephants on parade. I called my video for the Browns elephants on parade because that's what we were going to see. And I like to see the big men get moving downfield. What's the problem? What's the problem? Yeah. Why do we always got to hold things against these big dudes who are really the root cause of success or failure on offense most of the time? And and it pissed me off too because McGovern played a really good game other than those 2 stupid penalties.
That's the thing. And then look at there it is. First points of the game. Cleveland Browns in. Who is that? That is Amari Cooper. Right. Right through the middle. That it looked very similar, but from the opposite side of the field of the Garrett Wilson game winner. They looks like they learned a thing or two. So let me say this. I was just gonna say something. Shoot. Oh, Jeremy, if you wouldn't mind, can you scan the bottom there, like AbLab, and see if he's explaining what his super chat is? If I'd love to give him a chance to explain what the hell he's talking about. I don't want to. Now, nose kills. Before I get to this, I want to just mention something, and I'm going to take your thing off the screen real quick. I'm also going to do this. I'm going to make myself a little bit bigger for this reason. Now, Iowa Jets fan, I see Iowa Jets fan there. I want to just point out that I'm wearing something very specific, Frankie. Do you see this? It's hard to see with my damn beard. Do you know who that guy is?
No.
That's me. This is me. That's GreenBean right there with that's my old company, Bag of Nuts. This is me at a comedy show backstage before or after I went on. I do not recall. That's my clean-shaven mug right there, everybody. But Iowa Jets fan, when I showed up, I made the mistake of putting that in the Discord. Like, hey, guys, take a look or some shit. Now, Iowa, when we pull up to the Coney Island Cyclone, Iowa's wearing this shirt, and he had one made for me. So I couldn't wait to put this on, Iowa. Honestly, this is my first time actually wearing it. As you guys know, I still have COVID, but last week I was a mess. And last 2 weeks, really, I've kind of been out of sorts, but I was really looking forward to wearing this, and I love it, dude. I just love it, and you guys get to see. That's what I look like without a beard, everybody. Look at that nice guy. So friendly. That was when I still had my earring. You see that, Frankie? See it?
I mean, it says something about you, GreenBean, that you're willing to wear a shirt with your own face on it.
Hell yeah.
I don't know what that says, but it's got to be something in the psychological literature about that.
Well, I'll tell you what. Now, to that point, do I think I'll be out in public wearing this thing? Maybe not. Maybe not. But I am certainly honored that somebody would take the time to make a shirt of me. He wore it out in public and gave it to me. And it's definitely 100% worthy of wearing with you guys. I'll tell you that. You know what I mean? This is, I enjoy this. So Iowa, thank you again, my good friend, Reed, who, by the way, ran the Wayward Jets Fund for us. And we got 5 additional Jets fans who never made it to MetLife Stadium or to any Jets home game for that matter. We made it, we were able to get 5 Jets fans to their first ever Jets home game due to the work that Iowa Jets fan did. And I thank you once again. This is the last. We have 2 people coming from Missouri to the Bengals game. Thank you to Vino for the 2 tickets. And we were able to pay for one of their flights and the whole thing. And again, Iowa, you're the man, bro. Thank you for the shirt. And thank you for all you've done for Jets fans, getting them to the game. What a good dude, man. So nose kills checking in. Now, Frankie, I'm not sure if you are aware, but he doesn't mean he's not a killer of noses. He's got no skills. That's what he's doing there. You like that? No skills, nose kills. All right. I hereby apologize to all Bengal fans for what Michael Clemens will do to Joe Burrow. May his mental recovery be swift and the painkillers potent. I like that. Now, Michael Clemens, very quietly, I mean, he's definitely, he has his impact, Frankie. Now, I haven't looked. Do you have any information on maybe how many plays he's getting per game or anything like that? Have you taken a little peek into that sort of stuff? And what do you think of Michael Clemens against the Bengals?
Well, we could look it up, but one of the things that's interesting about Michael Clemens, he's playing on special teams. And they asked Coach Boyer about it, and they said, "Why is Michael Clemens playing on special teams, Coach?" And he said, "Well, main reason is if it were me, I wouldn't want to try and block him. So that's why."
That's why. Because I want to use them. I can't use the guy come on. I want to have some fun too. It's the scariest damn guy on our team. That's the thing. It's just very similar to like Quinn and Williams. I mean, our guys aren't getting home as much as we'd like. And last week was, you got to admit, it was a dip from week 1, but they're getting in there. I mean, there's a lot of pressure. And I saw a stat earlier, everybody's saying take Jacob Martin out for Bryce Huff, which I'd love to see Bryce Huff too. But Jacob Martin has like 5 pressures and, in his 34% snaps, of the snaps. So he's not completely ineffective either. Now his rating in PFF, if that's what you're looking at, he's like a 29 or something like that. Obviously, you're not going to be excited. But the truth is that he's actually good. And don't forget that the Jets paid him. So I don't know. I don't know what it all is. But, a guy like Michael Clemens, being out there, I mean, I think you're still seeing him absolutely like just harass, like just bull rush the offensive tackle. I mean, he's doing it every time he's in there. He's making his presence felt. He just hasn't made it home yet. And I think, look, you keep him out there, it's going to happen. I can't imagine it won't.
He's getting, from the last game, he got credit for 2 pressures. So
Michael Clemens?
Yeah, Clemens. In the first game, he got none. So maybe he's getting better, but depends how you count a pressure.
Yeah, right.
So I don't know. I wouldn't. I mean, Clemens has no sacks. He has 2 pressures in 2 games, and he has 1 tackle and 1 assist.
So can I just say something? I'm sorry to interrupt you. To hold that thought, dude. George Pickens just made one of the best catches I've ever seen in an NFL game. Best ever.
Good.
Like it's top 5, top 10 at worst.
Oh my God!
I told you, man, he was my favorite receiver in the draft. This guy, you see that catch? My son's banging on the door. Hey!
Oh my God!
You got to see this.
That's incredible.
Here, watch. You see it? Watch this, everybody. Yeah. Holy mac, George Pick, dude. His only knock is injury. That's his only knock. The guy's
and that's what they're saying. But that's what they're saying about Trubisky. So, like a throw like that is exactly what the Pittsburgh Steelers are looking for out of Trubisky. That's what they wanted him to do. Take shots like this.
Just get it near him. Right. He'll let the receiver do his job. Just get it near him. Right. I like it.
And so with throws like that, and now it looks like they're going to score, I guess. They're coming close. Yeah. It looks like probably they'll stick with Trubisky as long as he doesn't, isn't terrible the rest of the game. So it looks like, if he keeps doing things like that, we won't get Kenny Pickett just yet. They'll just stick with Trubisky. Probably.
Yeah, right. Well, and the Steelers missed a field goal already too in this game, so it could be 10 or it's 7-3 right now, and maybe 10 in a minute. So anyway, Jonathan Francois checking in. Thank you, Jonathan. He says Zach didn't have 1 300-yard passing game last year. Flacco has had 2 straight 300+ games. How many will Zach Wilson have this year? No excuses. Well, it's a good point, and I am, I've uttered those exact words, I've used that point in certain arguments that I was making as well. Like the point is that Zach was a rookie too. And, don't forget that he was a rookie. He was, they gave him the whole entire playbook. The offensive line was in shambles for the first 5 weeks. So there was a lot there. Flacco, dude, you got to remember he's, for all of his inaccuracy issues, he's a vet. You know what I mean? He knows how to at least play the game. Like he's going to give you that in most instances. So, Frankie, what do you think, man? Does it bother you? I mean, Joe Flacco throwing for 3 bills. Zach hasn't done that in the 10 games or so, 12 games that he played last year. And how many 300-yard games would you predict Zach Wilson is having this year?
Well, I personally wouldn't use the yardage as the yardstick, to use this phrase. I wouldn't, the yardage is dependent on a lot of different.
That was good. I like I like how that worked. Yeah.
Because really he just needs to be moving the offense efficiently. And I've used a couple of different metrics that I would prefer, like completion percentage and Anya and other things like that. I want Zach to be running the offense efficiently. And that mostly means a high completion percentage in the 60s, at least in the middle 60s, but low 60s to middle 60s. As long as he's doing that, the yardage will come. So I don't really, in the touchdown, as long as he's not throwing, and also you can't be throwing interceptions, Zach, okay, things like that. But as long as he's doing those type of things, if he throws for 275 or 280 or 240 or 250 or 299, that doesn't really matter. What matters is how efficiently is he moving the offense and how many points are we scoring. So that's what I get the idea here that this is true. We need to see improvement from Zach. Yes, but I wouldn't use the yardage as the yardstick.
I like that. I think that's perfectly answered. And, I saw a comment. I peered down and R&R said, why is Frankie in the penalty box? I didn't even realize I didn't turn it back. I'm just like, my brain isn't 100% these days. So I'm putting you bigger now, Frankie. I'm going to even this out a little while. All right.
That makes me uncomfortable, Green.
I don't like it.
It's like, oh,
Yeah, holy shit, I'm really big. Now, there was a time, Frankie, when the design of the show was whoever was talking, I was going to do that. You know, like, say, like me, right? Yeah, and I'm talking, and Frankie comes up. Hey, look at it. I was going to do that. But I don't know. It just became something I forgot about. So I don't know how that goes. I want to follow up with our question before Y2K has completed his research assignment for us. And we now have, don't forget, guys, if you weren't listening, we're talking about why is the penalty there for an ineligible man downfield? Dude, Najee Harris is a beast. I want to say that. He runs like I like running backs to run, and now he's got a touchdown. So we were asking the question, why is it a penalty that the offensive linemen leave too early? And Y2K has the answer. To not act as a decoy for the offense to free up an eligible receiver. And there's a safety component. They don't want the O-lineman running free and building momentum and possibly injure another player. So that's kind of what I was thinking. But I think that really does make a great point. I mean, if you have 5 new, kind of decoys, like it confusing the defense, it's an unfair advantage. And I could see that. That.
Yeah, I guess.
You don't like it? Nah.
I don't like it. Who cares if they're a decoy? Let them be a decoy. We want decoys. Decoys are fun.
Figure it out, Albrecht.
Yeah, figure it out. Figure it out, Belichick.
Well, thank you, Y2K. That's exactly what we're looking for. I do appreciate it. So I speak of the devil, Iowa Jets fan checking in. Thank you, Iowa. It's good to see you, buddy. He says, who's going to be better at covering Chase, Reed, or Sauce? Also, turn that shirt inside out when you wash it. So thank you. But I am Y2K. I mean, Iowa. I'm going to let you know I am an avid concert shirt collector. So I have over 100 concert shirts. If you want to see my collection, you can go to Full-Time Coaster Tour and look at one of the oldest videos on there, and you'll see before the night I sold my house, I just said I gotta show you guys my shirts because I was putting them in storage. But anyway, I know how to wash shirts. I'm very, very good. But thank you. I do appreciate it. But this shirt is safe, I assure you. And I don't dry shirts with prints on them either. That's the other thing. But thank you. So getting to his question, though, Frankie, he says, who's going to be better at covering Ja'Marr Chase, Reed or Sauce? Now, I have my answer, but I'd like to hear yours first. What do you think?
Well, first of all, nobody's good at covering Lamar Chase. So you think somebody's going to cover him? No. So we're mostly going to probably be in zone and pattern matching. So we're probably not going to be in man all that much. But if you had to pick one and you say we are going to be in man and you have to pick one, I'd probably pick DJ because of his experience, I guess. And he's been really good, DJ Reed. That's been one of our better pickups in the offseason. So
yeah,
I'd go with DJ probably.
I'm loving DJ Reed. Here's the thing with the Bengals, man. And again, this all boils down to they're comparing this Pickens catch to Odell.
Man.
I'm telling you, dude, the Pickens catch might actually be more impressive because of the positioning.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an argument, but dude, we just saw history there. They're going to be showing that shit all week. Believe me.
Yeah.
So the thing is with the Bengals that is, and like I said, it kind of backs it all down to the pass rush again. Like if they have the ability to stuff our pass rush, they have not only Ja'Marr Chase, who's as electric as anybody in the league. Then you have T. Higgins, who was one of my favorite receivers coming out of the draft that year. He's a stud. But guess what? They also have Tyler Boyd. If you figure out, let's say DJ Reed and Sauce figure out how to cover those guys, and they're doing a good job. Tyler Boyd is almost as good as both of those guys. Like he is a top tier, reserve, not even reserve, but rotational receiver. I mean, the guy's so good, man, and he's reliable. And if he needs to have a big game, big game, he will. It's that simple. And Joe Burrow trusts him as well. So it's going to be tough, man. And Michael Carter II, whoever the hell else, Bryce Hall. I mean, we got our work cut out for us, but that's why we went out and got these guys, man. I think it'll be kind of it's going to be a tough battle, but it's all about our pass rush. We have to exploit Pollock's, non-gelled offensive line. If we can do that, everything else is going to be much better. And like Frankie said, I think it's more about the screens than what the wide receivers are going to be able to do, at least in the first half. That's what they're going to be trying to do to us, in my opinion. Let's see what else we got here. See, you guys are the best. There's so many great comments in the chat here. Let me see where I am with this. Holy shit, we're so Jeremy, is this the next one? Is this next? Just to make sure. Yeah. All right. Awesome. Ablab checking back in. So, here he goes. It was a poorly timed Step Brothers reference inspired by your reel. Okay. All right. My question for you guys is, if the Cincy wide receivers are cooking our zone, will we go man on them? And that's interesting. We were kind of just touching on that. But Frankie, what do you think? Even including the stubbornness that you, so accurately spoke about earlier, do you think that Ulbricht and Saleh, for that matter, would, if we're getting cooked all day with this zone, they're finding the soft spots all day, we can't do a damn thing, do you think they'd have the gumption to switch and go man?
It'll depend on the situation. So probably not on first and second down, maybe on third down. The problem with man coverage is, as soon as you go man, unless you get to Burrow very quickly, he can then just run it. Remember, he's mobile too. He can just run it 10 yards and get a first down. So there's problems there, but and especially because we don't seem to have enough speed at our linebacker position still. The answer really is, it depends on the situation. And you're more likely to go man on third down, and I think the question will be too: do we have to blitz to get pressure on this guy or not? We don't like to blitz. We have like something like the fifth most amount of cap money allocated to defensive line. If those guys can't get home without a blitz, we got a big problem, especially because Saleh is supposed to be a D-line guru. So far, I don't see him being a D-line guru.
Right. I mean, look, and he's gotten we have so many defensive linemen right now that one of our faster and arguably our better pass rushers is inactive.
Well, this is the other thing. Can you explain this to me, GreenBean? We have this with the roster that we have. Why is it that John Franklin Myers is spending any time at end? Can you explain this to me?
No, I can't. And remember, Connor Hughes said that when I interviewed him.
We had this.
I disagree. I was like, conversation. Yeah, remember that? I was
and Country Club Connor was right. That's what they're doing. Right. But the argument was they shouldn't be doing that, though, because for this exact reason, if you keep JFM as a defensive tackle 100% of the time, he starts with Quinnen, and then your backups are Sheldon Rankins and Solly Thomas, and those are your four for the game. And Nathan Shepard gets to be inactive. Congratulations, Nathan. And then you can bring onto the active squad Bryce Huff. Wouldn't that be better to do?
I agree. Dude, I think there's something going on. I think Saleh and Shepard might have a little side action happening. Something. I don't know what it is.
We must get Nathan Shepard onto the field.
I know.
If Nathan Shepard doesn't play, who will be there to be blown off the line of scrimmage?
Right.
Who will be there to commit penalty? Who will be there to miss tackles after all?
Frankie, take a look real quick. How is Nathan Shepard playing? I mean, admittedly, I haven't done the dig. So what is he doing? How much is he playing? What the hell's going on?
He's playing a lot. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah. Think about that. So we got Bryce Huff inactive. We have JFM playing defensive end. It's kind of confusing, man. But for Nathan Shepard, what the hell is that? Get Nathan Shepard off the damn field, push JFM inside, or maybe even Nathan Shepard inactive, man. You know what I mean? And get your best guys. And the Nathan Shepard is not one of our best guys. And it's not a personal thing, man. When you watch him, he gets pushed all over the place. He can't even hold his turf. And
he has one tackle and one pressure in 2 games. That's what he has.
And how much is he playing? He's playing
last game he played 25 snaps, and the first game he played 19 snaps. So he plays quite a bit. And it's because we are moving JFM out of the defensive tackle position over to end, and so that moves Sheldon Rankins up, and then someone's got to be the backup Sheldon Rankins, and that's Shepard. And that's the problem. The whole problem with this is created by the insistence of having JFM as a big end. Now, JFM can play big end very well. No one's saying he can't. He can do both. But the problem is that we spent all this money and all this draft capital on the end position, whether it's Jacob Martin or JJ or Michael Clemens or all these guys we brought in as defensive ends, getting Lawson back, even Vinny Curry, who's on the injured list. We spent all that time, effort, time, money, everything else, getting all these defensive ends, and we didn't address defensive tackle as much. And yet, here we are. We're moving JFM to defensive end in first and second down. Why? I still haven't heard a good explanation other than JFM's good at defensive end. We know that he is. That's not the problem.
Yeah,
the problem is, what do you do with the backup defensive tackle position?
Right. And I agree. And look, not for nothing, we have an abundance of defensive ends.
Right.
So like, right. You don't need right. It's just, it's a poor usage of poor allocation of resources, in my opinion. And then look, because of it, you got a guy like Bryce Huff sitting there,
sitting
he's
there
hanging out
doing nothing,
smoking doobs with Denzel Mims at the Salmon Bar. You know what I mean?
kicking cups on the sidelines.
Right. It's aggravating, man. It really. Frankie, did you see that last play that the Browns
They were
just
running some trickery? I saw.
Did you see that? That was gorgeous. And it's funny because did you see how disciplined they pulled the entire offensive line to the right? They ran the ball to the left. They did a little jet sweep action. He pitched it, and then the guy threw it back to the quarterback, but the offensive line had already settled all the way on the right side of the field, and they disciplined, waited. Not one of them went downfield illegally, and then they all took off together. I like that, dude. They figured out a way to get 5 offensive linemen lead blocking. Unbelievable.
I'll tell you this, 2 words, Bill Callahan. That's what.
Oh,
why did we ever let Bill Callahan out of our building? Let me ask you that, Greenbean. You're the historian. If anybody should have stayed here, kind of like Nathan Shepard, if they drop a nuclear bomb on one Jets drive, there'll be 2 things left, Bugs and Nathan Shepard. The Nathan Shepard part of that should have been Bill Callahan. We should have kept him under any and all regimes, why did we let him leave?
Well, what happened? Remember when we interviewed Wesco? And he said that at the end of his tenure, it didn't really, he wasn't all psyched about the Jets. Remember, like it ended poorly. Something similar happened with Bill Callahan, who he was with the Jets until 2011. Now, what famously happened to the Jets in 2011?
That was the year. That was the year of the Armageddon. That was the cataclysmic year. 2011. Everything bad happened to the Jets that we're still suffering from to this day. Of course, it was 2011. I should have known.
Right. That's
everything bad that has happened to us started in 2011. God damn it.
Yeah.
And that's a big thing.
It's not like it's a safe bet. If you're not sure, if you're like when the bad thing happened, if you don't know, it's a safe bet. You got a good shot saying 2011 because that's when everything went wrong. And we're still recovering from that. That's the truth. It 2011, it ripped the soul out of this organization. And we were steady Eddie for a decade before that. I mean, we weren't always great, but we were always competitive. We had good teams.
Yeah, we would even beat the Patriots sometimes.
Right. And we had like a 4-12 year in there. We had some bad years, but we come right back with a 9-7 or a 10-6. And then 2011 came and it was just like meltdown. And then we had the one lucky year, not lucky so much, but the mercenary year. We just brought in a bunch of mercenaries. McCagnon's first year with obviously Decker and Ivory and Marshall and everybody. And it was a miracle year, but other than that, it's 2000. So Bill Callahan did not want to be here anymore. It was the Rex Ryan kind of taking over. The next year, Tannenbaum. We brought in Tebow. We brought in Plaxico Burress and Derek. Like the energy changed, and he didn't want to be here anymore. Now, there's obviously specifics I'm not privy to, but I remember that I was devastated. I was like, dude, we're losing.
He's the best in the biz.
He's the best in the game. There's nobody.
We had him here. It's so annoying.
Yeah. And now Edward Ziff is either drinking or smoking weed, but let's entertain it anyway, Ed. Crazy thought. Mekhi Becton at nose tackle, Frankie? What do you think? What do you got?
No. Let's just hope Mekhi can play football. How about that?
Right. Let's hope Mekhi, right. Fucking poor kid.
Yeah.
He's going to think about he'll come back, Frankie. He's going to be 23.
I know, but I mean, think about next year. Let's hope Max Mitchell is our right tackle. Can we dream about Max Mitchell, that he's our right tackle?
Yeah.
Well,
I'm sorry. Go on, please.
If he is, then 80% of the line is done. I mean, for the next few years, right? AVT is blossoming before our eyes. Probably, if it continues, probably going to the Pro Bowl at least. We got Lakin under contract for 2 more years after this one. The center, we don't know. McGovern, what we're going to do with. So maybe, I don't know. He's an average center. I'd sign him for a couple more years, get that done. But then all we got to worry about is left tackle. And we got to figure out what to do with Fant. We do have Dwayne Brown for another year for whatever that's worth, if we want to keep him around. And then we got Mackay coming back.
Yeah.
So, it's an interesting thing of what's going to happen next year with this line. And we're probably going to draft another one. I mean, let's be honest. We need more depth here.
Yeah. I'd like to see, even if they plan on keeping, let's say they extend McGovern for 2 more years or something, I still want them to use a first 3-round pick on a center. I mean, I would be delighted if they used a 2nd-round pick on a center, somebody who needs who could start right now, but you get them in your program for a year. And then, and you go about it that way. I'd like to see that. The Dwayne Brown thing's weird because, right, look, he's injured. We don't know what the hell's going on, but you got Fant at left tackle and Max Mitchell. I mean, what do? Do you pluck the kid? I mean, if he's playing well, I mean, maybe, to move Fant back to the right. I mean, I don't know, man. But look, I saw a comment. First of all, people are replying to Ed, Harlan Abraham's like, no, don't do that. I see a couple, but it's funny. But look, man, whether or not you want to, move Fant, it's an interesting thing. I mean, because 4th-round tackles, I mean, it's not unheard of that 4th-round tackles come in and are great. Yeah. I mean, we have it in our history, and interestingly enough, both of them pick 111. Jason Fabini, if you guys remember Jason Fabini, one of Parcells' favorite guys, and he was our right tackle for 3 years, I think it was. And then when Jumbo Elliott moved on, we moved him over to left tackle, and he was a staple for us for many years, and he was a stud muffin. He was even a part of that huge bar brawl behind the stadium by Teterboro when Jumbo Elliott, Matt O'Dwyer, and poor little rookie Jason Fabini completely destroyed a strip club. Can you imagine that? You get those 3 guys drunk and they're pissed off. And all the bouncers like, you got to leave. Like, we're going nowhere.
Who's going to make us?
Yeah, make us. Yeah. It's like, I think Matt O'Dwyer ripped the sink out of the bathroom wall and threw it at somebody or something like that. Like, think about that, Frankie. If that's who you are. You're mad enough, you rip the sink out of the wall and throw it. That's who you. Yeah, that's what we're doing. So, but anyway, yeah, I mean, so like it's nice to see Max Mitchell. Now, look, all of us, even guys who liked him, many of us did as a potential mid-round pick. Yeah, it's like his thing is strength, right? So you want to see him have the opportunity to develop the necessary traits and abilities to be able to go in, but you look at him and he's got the footwork. He's got the, he's able to position himself. He's got the balance. He's got the hands. Like he has all that stuff. Now you have seen him get pushed back maybe not quite a bit, but a few times at least. He gets, he ends up on his heels and he's getting bull rushed. But overall, I think he's doing a great job and he's improving. Like from week 1 to week 2, there's market improvement. And like, dude, his assignment was not easy, man. And there were times they were putting Garrett and Clowney, they were doubling up that side. Why? Because they were trying to exploit that rookie weakness over there. And it wasn't working. I mean, clearly, you had the one strip sack, but I mean, that's not really, Mitchell's fault. So Flacco has to have the presence and, he's got to be able to, he was driving him all the way around you. So it's one of those things. Flacco's 38 years old. So, you gotta, it's just part of the deal. But it's interesting, Frankie. What do you think? I mean, when they come in, when Dwayne Brown's healthy, are you taking Fant again, pissing him off again, moving him back to the right side, pushing the rookie, or you just leave fucking Dwayne Brown on the sideline and you got an $11 million backup? What do you do?
Well, I think it depends on how Fant is playing. I mean, we're going to find out about George Fant these next 2 games. He should be able to hold up pretty well, and he should be. So if he's playing well, then I think, Dwayne Brown's a backup. I think because Dwayne Brown's not going to play right tackle, that's for sure.
No, he's not.
So if Max Mitchell keeps playing well and Fant plays well, then I think you leave him alone. You don't mess with a good thing. But if one of them is not performing, let's say Max Mitchell just has two terrible outings the next 2 weeks, and Brown's ready to come back after that, then maybe you move Fant again. But somebody's going to have to help out old George Fant. We're going to have to give him a contract or something. We can't keep jerking this guy around. He's going to be like,
oh, big fumble. Steelers fall on it. But yeah, I mean, but you're right. But unless they're just like, hey, man, he's old. He had the ankle injury last year. Now he's got a knee injury.
Just let him go.
Maybe they are.
Maybe.
Maybe. I mean, it's a shame because he's clearly a very, very liked, respected, hardworking team guy. I mean, he's played, each side like 3 or 4 times now. You know what I mean? So he's been here 3 years. He's been all over, back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And even if he's unhappy, he does it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he's injured again, man. I mean, he returned to practice today and looked pretty good. But I mean, when you're an over 30 vet and you're starting to miss the first couple days of practice each week for healing, it's not a good sign, man. And hopefully Dwayne Brown's ready to go, because if George Fant, God forbid, but if he does get hurt, I'd rather see Dwayne Brown come in than maybe Connor McDermott, who's also injured, by the way. I don't even know. I haven't kept up with him. But, and speaking of injuries, Frankie, I want to get to Kyle Ornsby's. Kyle Ornsby, you're up next for the Super Chat. And, guys, if you want to get your questions in, we do. We're trying to read as much as we can. But Super Chats, as we say, skip the line. Guaranteed to get your question heard, and we do appreciate it. But, one of the things that I thought was really interesting, Frankie, and could be a sign of better days ahead, is that generally speaking, the Jets are just riddled with injuries, right? You know that. Now, we've been healthier this year. I'm knocking on some teak. This is very good teak wood, Frankie. It's good stuff. But guys were going down in the Cleveland game. Garrett Wilson, Quinnen Williams, a few other guys. And every single player that got injured returned to the game. Saleh said afterwards, all players, active players, finished the game. That is brand new for us. If guys get hurt, they're hurt. Now, is that a sign of maybe guys aren't playing for the paycheck? Maybe guys did feel like it was important to do their job for the team. This was a big game and things were happening, and it was 14-14 at the half, and we were in this game. Do you think that's a sign of better days? Do you think like all this talk of character and guys that love football and best culture, do you think that's a sign of those types of comments?
Well, I do think we have to keep in mind that we had the Adam Gase regime here just previous to this one. And guys in that era were like, screw this guy. Like, we hate Gase. Like, they're probably thinking, we hate Gase. Screw him. Right. He's a complete maniac and an idiot. I'm not risking anything for this guy, because who knows what he's going to do to me next. He's going to make a tight end a center. He's going to, who knows what's going to happen, So right. I do think there's that. And that was an outlier era, though, for us. I mean, there's not a lot of coaches where maybe Joe Judge is another one, where the players just hate them. And I think a lot of the players did hate Adam Gase. He just put them in awkward positions and stuff like that. Yeah. So that was unusual, right? And so that is now. So now we fast forward to this regime. I think the players do love playing for Saleh. I think they do. That's one of the pluses for Saleh. He recruits. That's good. Mm-hmm. The players play hard for him. That's good. He's passionate on the sideline. That's good. There's some things that he needs to work on. I think his communication strategy with the media, for one, and number two, defense. But I do think the guys play hard for him. They love him, and they love going to battle with him. And so I do think that there's some of that where maybe some of those guys in previous eras would have said, you know what, it's a little achy, it's a little hurting a little bit. Let me just sit over here. Yep. And they could justify it. I mean, they did get injured. It's not like people were just saying I'm injured when they're not. But I think these guys were like, no, we're going back out there. We're fighting. So I think that is good. And that's a plus on the Saleh side of the coaching, as far as him being the head coach.
Yeah, I actually feel the same way. I was taken with it during the game. Like, look, dude, he's back. Like, oh my God, like we haven't lost that. And again, I'm not knocking on wood, but it's like how many times, like you said, it's like, well, it's a little twist, but maybe I'm just gonna be cautious and sit over here instead of coming back. And we saw that with Tremaine Johnson. And look, Jamal Adams, as much as we did not like his comments, the whole article with Manish Mehta and all this stuff. The truth is that he was telling us what was really going on. The guy's nuts. Nobody likes him. He doesn't even speak to the defense. He never addresses the full team. He has everybody else doing everything. And we saw it in games. He's sitting alone on the damn bench. Like, what the hell is going on?
It was crazy time.
It was crazy time. I've never seen anything like it. That's why, like, it's those types of things. Like, even though Rich Kotite has a worse record technically, the team was better, and they played for Kotite. It was different. There, he was at least coaching. He was yelling and screaming.
It's one thing if you suck and you're trying and you're really,
right,
you just happen to be bad, but you're there for your guys and you're doing all the normal coach things. There are normal coach things that need to be done, normal, and players know what they are. These players have grown up being coached their whole lives,
right.
Pee-wee, high school, college, other teams they come from. And then Gase is doing things that are not normal. And they know it. And so that was a whole different embarrassing situation. But at least now we have, people who are doing the normal coaching stuff at the very minimum. So
yeah. And look, it's one of the things, I got critiqued this week by numerous people. Last week, we were talking about some of the concerns that we had with, the way Saleh was handling things, whether it be comments or, kind of a stoic approach on the sideline and things like that. And this week we see a guy who was more aggressive, and I point to the first quarter fake punt. You know what I mean? That's not something that has been a tendency of Robert Saleh. We have not really seen those types of plays. We saw significantly more stretching of the field. We saw some more deeper strikes, or at minimum, a little bit more use of the mid-range routes. We saw a lot more of that than we're used to seeing. And I felt like the game was there was a different feel about it. And the way I said it was maybe Saleh is finally wearing down from what you need to be here. I mean, you just can't come to New York and be the coach of the Jets and have the San Francisco, the Seattle attitude, passive, and you just can't. It just doesn't work. Eventually, it's going to wear you down, and you're going to get pissed off. You're going to say things like, I'm taking receipts. I'm going to stuff them down your goddamn throats. And you're going to say those things, and you're going to feel that way. And Saleh, you look at his face throughout the game, he was like constantly, he had this grimace, Frankie. Like I have a picture. I'll show you here. Robert Saleh. Look at him. He's watch this.
Another one where he was pissed was when we had that stupid holding penalty on the Michael Carter run. That was a bunch of bullshit too.
Like, this is the face he wore.
Yeah.
And somebody
I think that was that penalty. He was livid.
Right. But he was mad all day, and he was like on the field, and and that's not to say Robert Saleh hasn't done that before. He has, he's argued with the refs. He's gotten pissed off, but it was the whole game, and the play calling and the way the game was going kind of felt different. And it felt like this guy might be at a point where he's like, you know what? I'm done. I'm going to start stabbing people in their hearts. Like, I'm sick of it. And that is kind of that New York-esque attitude that works here. Like, you don't have to be a blustery. You don't have to be Rex. You don't have to be Bill Parcells. You don't have to be that, but you have to have balls here. You can't play for the field goal. You can't be conservative. You have to have just a little tone of aggression. And Robert Saleh kind of looked like he was leaning more that way. And I commented on it. And I said, look, it was good to see. Oh, last week you're ready to chop his head off. And this week, well, it was different. It's fucking different. I'm talking about different things, man. One I didn't like and one I did. Now, does it mean that he's great? No, but it could be indicative of a turning of a corner in the same way that we're talking about the injuries and guys coming back to finish the game. That's, kind of a sign of maybe turning a corner. Guys, having the right makeup of your team, not wanting to disappoint one another and all those types of things. And Robert Saleh being a touch more aggressive and kind of being more engaged throughout the game could also be a sign of things turning as well. Now, the only negative comment, I'm really curious to see if you see it the same way, Frankie. But somebody said they're really not into his beard there. They think it's kind of it looks kind of like the when Hulk Hogan was a villain and he had that black beard. The men's. What is it?
Yeah.
The dyed beard. And I said, no, I think he looks good. I like this version of dude. If he had that face on for the rest of his Jets tenure, I would love it.
Well,
it's the
it brought us luck. I mean, listen, if his beard brings us luck, grow it, baby. Listen, this is the program for it. We got the bearded people here, and we believe in the beard.
We do believe in the power of the beard, Frankie.
Fear the beard, man.
Fear the beard, everybody. So I think, look, I'm happy with Saleh. Now, again, we have to acknowledge that the game, we were given some gifts. But we capitalized on them, guys. We scored 14 points in the last 2 minutes, and that included just a beautifully designed and performed onside kick. I mean, those are rare, man. Those are low percentage, but it was beautifully done. It wasn't all happenstance. They are, but you see Will Parks versus Amari Cooper. Will Parks leveled him, and he wanted it more, and that's the difference. You know what I mean? That's kind of where that Amari Cooper could have sacrificed everything and got that ball, in my opinion. He didn't. He tried, but Will Parks went harder, and that's why we ended up getting the onside kick. He hit it over inside to Justin Hardy, who in an interview, Frankie, I'm not sure if you saw this, Justin Hardy said Will Parks said to him right before the kick, "I'm going to go tap that thing to you." Did you hear that?
I didn't.
Yeah. Justin Hardy said,
awesome.
they were, Eric Allen was saying, you did such a good job. He said, look, I got to give credit to Will Parks because he came to me and said, this is what I'm going to do. And he did it. You know what I mean?
Fantastic.
Yeah. And that's the kind of stuff. So, So, I mean, and that's the thing. And don't forget, guys, it was a game, the whole game. And now toward the end, right, they were able to go up by 2 scores, but they only went up 2 scores with 2 minutes left. That's when the game finally looked like it was out of hand. We were there the whole game, and we were driving down the field just like they were. Think about this. If we didn't get that strip sack, we were on the 10-yard line, guys. You know what I'm saying? So that's another whole drive that's just erased. No points, obviously, but that could have been a field goal. That could have been a touchdown. We were driving. And then don't forget the first down. I mean, the third down where the tight end with Tyler Conklin, I think it was inbounds. It looked like, and they didn't give it to us. I mean, there's a lot there, man. So it's not like the whole game we sucked, and then in the last 2 minutes, all of a sudden we got all these gifts. Yes, that's part of it, but we were there. We were there all game, and you got to give credit where credit was due, man. The team played hard. The defense sucked for most of the game, but guess what? When you needed them to come up big, guess what they did? They forced a 4th and 26. That's what they did. When the game was on the line and they needed to stop them, they went out there and they forced a 4th and 26. Then when they were on the field again, Ashton Davis picked them off. So that's when you want your team to come up big in the fourth quarter, and they did it. So Frankie, what do you think? And I'm sorry, Kyle, I'll get to your question in just a second. But what do you think, Frankie, about all that sort of stuff?
Well, what I saw in the game really wasn't just our offense is really encouraging. And I watched the all 22 footage and all that. The offense is doing some really smart and encouraging stuff. And it's all going to depend on how much Zach is going to, how good or bad is Zach going to be. But he's got the weapons around him, and he's got this, the play calling seems to be pretty good. And we have people who can get open now on all levels and all that. And just stop fumbling it, Mr. Conklin. Thank you. There's that. So, but my concern, my worry right now is the defense. It really is. I mean, that was not a good game for the defense. I'm not seeing the defensive line. Now, the defensive line played better in game 1. So I'm willing to say maybe it was just the Cleveland Browns offensive line was just that good, and Bill Callahan and all the things they do. So I don't want to overreact to it, and I want to see how we do these next 2 weeks.
Right.
But I'm concerned about the linebacking position. I mean, even on the last play remember when Jake Brisket was running on the play before the interception? Remember he had that big scramble for like 22 yards or so?
Yes.
I was looking at the tape, and there's a point in time when he's well past the line of scrimmage, and CJ Mosley is going back into coverage, looking for people to cover. It's like, CJ, he's not eligible to throw the ball. What are you doing? Come tackle him, please. And I'm like, what is going on with CJ? And CJ is our smartest player on defense, pretty much. And so I don't know what the hell's going on with that.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of things like that are just head scratchers. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And what is that guy doing? And what is Lamarcus Joyner doing? And it's usually Lamarcus Joyner.
Oh my God, Lamarcus
What are
Joyner.
you doing? And why are you in the game after all? Let's put Will Parks in. Let's put Tony Adams. Let's put anybody in other than Lamarcus Joyner, for God's sake.
I agree, man. And again, that's another one. Like, why?
Why did we, the fans, know we needed another free safety, but not this coaching staff? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, agreed.
Everybody was yelling, we should get Marcus Williams. We should get Justin Reed. We should get Tyrann Mathieu. We should draft Daxton Hill or Kirby Joseph or one of these guys.
Yeah.
No. Lamarcus Joyner's just fine. Well, I don't think he's just fine.
No, and I agree, man. Like you said, look, the truth is Lamarcus Joyner hasn't played safety since 2018.
And maybe there's a reason for that.
Maybe, right? We thought the Raiders were like, they put him at nickel because that's what they needed him. Maybe he sucks at safety. We got to try something else, man. Who knows, right? We had it backwards this whole time. But so Kyle, thank you for the super chat, my friend. He says, late to the party, under or over 2.5 sacks for the New York Jets. I imagine he's asking for this coming week. So Frankie, if you had to make a bet here, are you picking the over or the under? You have an offensive line from the Bengals who up to this point has struggled. You have a defensive line of the Jets has, both sides, a lot of investment from the Bengals on their offensive line, a lot of investment from us on the defensive line, but we haven't necessarily been lights out either. So it's kind of, when a movable force, when unstoppable force hits an immovable object, but in reverse. What do you think?
Well, we'll learn a lot about Zach Taylor by how he approaches this game. If you see him running a lot of screens, you'll know he's a good coach, basically. Because anybody who looks at the tape and figures out what's going on with their own offensive line and doesn't say we need to screen them to death, they're not a good coach, in my opinion. So the question is Zach Taylor a good coach or not? And are we going to see screen, which I think we will. And if that's the case, we're not going to get many sacks. We might get 1 or 2. So I would say under that. If that happens, then I'm under. Now, if he lets Burrow sit back there and wait for, his deep receivers to run all these deep routes and everything, yeah, then we could get to him. But I don't think he's going to do that. I just don't. So I would say under.
Under. You know what? I'm going to go with the over. Frankie makes some great points. And I do think that Zach Taylor is a good coach. And I think the org is well run right now. And I think what we're seeing is what we've seen here numerous times. You're seeing a major influx of new people into a system, and they haven't played together before. Now we're talking about a unit. The offensive line is more so than any other unit on the team depends on one another. I mean, there's a symmetry that needs to take place there that, doesn't just happen overnight in most instances. It can, of course, but it doesn't matter the talent individually of each player. It's more about how they are as a unit. And if there are any, chain is only as strong as its weakest link. And if anyone's missing an assignment, the whole thing's toast. And that's how that goes. So that's what I think we're witnessing. My hope is that it takes them another week to get it.
Yeah,
and
gel later. Gel a little later.
Right. They're just starting to congeal. We want it still liquidy, flowy. That's what we want. Larry Romano saying the under. Thomas Cahill saying Salah's too soft, but you know what? It's interesting. Like, again, we have so much talent on the defensive line, and here I think is an X factor I have not seen anyone mention yet, Frankie. Now maybe they did, but I didn't see it. But I haven't seen it, and I have looked. Are we forgetting that this is the return of one Carl Lawson to his previous team, Frankie? Will
Yeah.
he have the extra motivation to
Well,
make them pay? What do you think?
They asked him about that.
Oh, so
and
okay.
they said, what about this revenge game, Mr. Lawson? He said, oh, I don't have any hard feelings. Yeah, he said, oh yeah, I keep in touch with all those guys all the time. I was rooting for them last year when they went to the Super Bowl. It's great to see my boys in the Super Bowl. I got no hard feelings.
You know what I think? I think that's all bullshit. I think I think he broke every dish in the house that night. That's what I think.
But
Why did I leave?
But it's also a CJ Uzama revenge game now.
It is.
Hopefully his hamstring heals enough for him to play, but could also be a CJ Uzama revenge game too.
It could be. Well, and he returned to practice, so that's a good sign.
That's good.
You know, and that'll be really fun to see. I mean, you know, look, I think it's interesting because we saw Zach Wilson in training camp in the green and white, and you know, in the first couple of drives before he injured himself, he was looking at the tight ends a lot. All right, and particularly Tyler Conklin, but he was looking for his tight ends. Now, Joe Flacco hasn't really done that. He's kind of looked elsewhere, you know.
Conklin in the last game got targeted a lot for a tight end. I mean, a lot for a tight end.
Well, I think he had 6 targets, I think in total.
6
but
or 8. There were some he didn't make the play. He had 6 catches. I mean, so.
All right. Well, then, you know, the point I'm making is that I think that Zach Wilson, when he comes back, has a little bit more intention or need, even if you will, to utilize the tight end position more so than Joe Flacco is. Now, that's not to say that, you know, we don't want to see Garrett Wilson continue to thrive. We don't want to see Elijah Moore get the ball. But I just had a sneaking suspicion that Zach Wilson was going to be tight end, all, you know, tight end heavy this year. And I think that CJ Uzama's injury kind of probably, you know, took a hit with the tight ends as well. I'd like to see CJ Uzama have the ability to have a revenge game, but I'm also wanting to see Tyler Conklin get the opportunity not to, to change this fumbleitis that he's had so far. Again, if you guys don't know, he's had 2 fumbles in his previous 4 seasons. Now, granted, he didn't play all that much the first 3 seasons. He did play, but his first 2 games with the Jets, he already has 2 fumbles. So, you know, speaking of Tyler Conklin specifically, Frankie, what do you think? You think he's going to turn it around, or are you worried?
Yeah. No, I'm not worried about it. You have to think he's going to turn. He doesn't have any kind of history, so let's just hope he's getting him out of the way early, and everything will be just fine going forward, because everything else about him is great. I mean, he's running routes great. He's catching the ball pretty well. He's blocking pretty well. So
yeah. And another thing too, I mean, I saw a comment in there, Nakobe Dean, it might have been from Mike Saunders, I think. He said that Nakobe Dean's better than Jeremy Ruckert. And I mean, look, Nakobe Dean, we loved him too. But the truth is that while Jeremy Ruckert might be quieter, he's doing a damn good job in the blocking. I mean, he's doing an exceptional job.
But this is a good point, though, is like, we talked about this all off season, that the Jets really believe in Quincy Williams. And is that belief well-founded or not? So far, the answer is no.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so that's the problem, is that they really believed in Quincy Williams, that he was going to be a high-level performer. He has not been to date. And so if they can't make that kind of a judgment, that tells you something about this evaluation, the evaluation skills of our coaching staff. The same people who evaluated things and said, LaMarcus Joyner's our starting free safety. And we're going to move JFM to big end, even though he can play out there. Looking at our roster, it's malfeasance to do that, it seems to me, unless they turn it around. And so they made those calls and said, we're fine there. We don't need to draft a linebacker high in the draft. We don't need to address free safety in free agency or the draft. They're making these determinations, and then everybody who's looking at it in the entire offseason, all Jet content creators, the Jets X Factor guys, everybody said, what is going on here? These are strange decisions.
Yeah.
And then we see them play, and it's not turning out good for the decision makers on the Jets in some of these cases. So,
yeah. Well, that's the thing. I mean, I think it does boil down to in a few particular instances, particularly with the linebackers, just like you said. And you said this last year. You said, I have a feeling that they like their linebacker core right now.
Yeah.
And guys like myself said, well, I don't think that's the case. and then they made it through the whole damn draft. And there were like Nakobe Dean. I think Nakobe Dean was there when we took Rucker, right? Didn't he make it to the third round? I think he did.
He made it to the third round. Not sure exactly where in the third round, but he was third round for sure.
Yeah, I mean, shit. When they traded up for Breece Hall, I thought they were trading up for Nakobe Dean. I thought it was there. I was convinced that we were coming out of this draft with at least a linebacker. And then when we made it to the fourth round, when we took Max Mitchell, I was happy with Max Mitchell, great. But then when Michael Clemens, there were still linebackers I liked on the board that we chose not to take. And it's interesting. Now, I would love to see Jamie Sherwood. I mean, he looked really good in preseason. I was very impressed, actually. And I don't know why he's not seeing the same playing time. It's all, you know what, I get the feeling, Frankie. And like we've used the word stubborn a couple of times to describe this coaching staff, but I think it's almost like, and maybe I'm off base and you can correct me, but I get the feeling that they want to prove that they're right.
It's
you know
weird.
what I mean?
I hope not, because that is terrible. What a terrible mindset. Prove that you're right. Why don't you just do what's best for the team? That's going to help us win. So it's weird because they see Quincy as linebacker 2, and they see that as solid. CJ, Quincy. Now, a lot of times we only have 2 linebackers on the field, and I think that's the other reason they didn't want to go crazy with linebacker, because a lot of times we're in dime. Last game we were 55% dime, 4-2-5. So we only have 2 linebackers on the field anyway, and if they think CJ is great and Quincy's great, we're only going to be in 4-3 45% of the time. And then when Quan came in, Quan's the third linebacker. He outplayed Sherwood. That's what happened. And so when we're in 4-3, Quan is there, and there's no more room for Sherwood because we never have a fourth linebacker. God forbid we have 4 linebackers on the field. God willing, you might need these athletes to run down these running backs in a screen situation. But who am I? I'm no defensive coordinator. But anyway, so that's why Sherwood basically got outplayed by Quan. Quan became the third linebacker, and now Sherwood's fourth. And and like I said, 55% of the time, the last game, which is normal also, but we're in 4-2-5, so we only have 2 linebackers on the field in that time, anyways.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's really interesting, man. I mean, the love affair with Quincy Williams, who, look, we all love him. I mean, we love the way he plays. He comes
I'd
in
like him to read better. Can we read the damn play better, Quincy, and figure it out? Read your keys and get in there. He has the physical tools, like he can, but it's all about. We thought he was going to be quicker up here reading and reading his keys, and I haven't seen it so far. Now, just 2 games, so maybe he'll get better, but.
Yeah, well, and that's the whole thing. I mean, we were saying maybe like second year in the system. Don't forget he was just scooped up off the scrap heap and thrown on the field. Yeah. So maybe that lapse, those lapses were, due to that. But it looks like, I mean, look, what I was saying last year was Quincy Williams, to me, looks like a rotational guy, a guy that can come in and really do some nice things for you in a certain capacity. And they got him out there playing all the time. And look, there's an argument to be made, Frankie, and I haven't dug into this degree. I mean, obviously you can tell with when you really evaluate the game, but like we're blaming Ulbricht for the schemes not being able to stop the screens, but we've seen CJ Mosley get burned, flat out beat. Now, maybe it's CJ Mosley and Quincy Williams. Maybe it's just them. Maybe it's just them. They just can't make it there. They just can't beat their guys. They just can't cover it.
I mean, but then the coaches need to evaluate that and say, we need somebody else. If Quincy's a special teams player, then you have to say he's a special teams player. He's not your linebacker 2. And then you go and get Devin Lloyd, or you go and get Nakobe Dean, or you go and get whoever the hell you need. We said no to Bobby Wagner for some reason. No. Okay, we don't need him. We said no to all the free agent linebackers the kid who went from Arizona to Hicks, who went to the Vikings. Yep. We said no interest in that. Nope, we're good with Quincy.
Quincy's here.
So that is an evaluation. The same people making the evaluation that says LaMarcus Joyner's a starting free safety. The same people who say our starting defensive end is JFM instead of being on the inside where we have all these defensive ends on the roster. These are the people who also said linebacker 2 is Quincy Williams and linebacker 4 is Sherwood, and we don't need anything else. And you have to question that. And it's troublesome because these are supposed to be defensive minds. We hired Saleh as a defensive coach. He and Ulbricht are one and the same. So you can't just get rid of Albrecht. That doesn't do any good. It's Salah's system. How do I know that? This is exactly what they ran in San Francisco under Salah. This is Salah's system. Albrecht is just there because he also believes in the same system. So you can't go ahead and say get rid of Albrecht. That doesn't solve any problems if that's the problem. And that's troublesome because then the solution is rip it up from the roots with getting rid of Salah. And I really don't want to do that. I really don't. So that's what has me worried is like, if that's the problem, then we got an at the roots problem. And that is, that is just frustrating to think about.
It really is. I mean, obviously, even when we voice concerns one way or the other for the head coach, the offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, that's not because we want to, at least from my perspective, because we want to rip it up and start over. I mean, that's the last thing we want to do. We want to see this team show enough progress, legitimate moving forward, that we can feel good about the long-term idea that these are our guys. That's what we want. We want that to be the case. Peeling off all the AGNB friggin' stickers from the glass. We don't want to do that again. You know what I mean? You don't want to do it. You just want to have these guys all together, believe together, build the org together, and progress together and develop together and become something. That's what you want. But like you said, if the problem really is that they just really don't know the talent evaluation, like who to give up on and who to play, then there's a problem. There's a big problem, because then you got guys like Bryce Huff, like Sherwood on the bench, and you're playing guys that are getting beat all over the friggin' place. Yeah, and it's like, why?
And you're releasing guys like Pinnock, who really, if we were going to have guys getting beat as a free safety, I'd rather it be Jason Pinnock, and I'd rather we have released LaMarcus Joyner. We could have saved some money, number one, and at least with Pinnock, you could say he's developing, and you could have Tony Adams backing him up, and you could say, all right, we're going young there. They're going to take their lumps, but they're going to learn from it. LaMarcus Joyner's not going to learn from anything. He is what he is, at this point. So that's another thing. We let him go, all because we needed LaMarcus Joyner on this roster for some reason.
I know, it's crazy. It really is, and that's concerning. And look, you can point to the general manager, of course. The general manager has final say on the roster, but
the coaches have a lot to say about it.
Of course they do. They have, how good is a general manager if the coaches are saying I can't use this guy,
right, and
he's too bad you're keeping him.
Right. That's not going to go well.
Right. It's
a collaboration, and you know that it had to be Salah and the defensive coaches banging the table for Joyner, banging the table for Quincy, banging the table. Let's keep JFM as not keep him, but move him to defensive end and move him around, and let's get rid of Pinnock and all of these decisions. And I don't know. And if it worked, I would say fine, great. What do I know? But I'm looking at it and I don't see it working, at least not so far. So no. I want to see improvement very quickly.
Yeah, me too. And look, and I have no problem being an offensive team. Like I really don't. Like, the Jets have managed for many, many years to be the top 3 rushing defense in that's kind of our stamp, Yeah, we have the 31st pass defense, but we're 3rd in the league and stopping the run. But but it's always been our stagnant offense that's been the issue. Now, this is the first year in a very long time that we have legitimate weapons. And then we talked about that earlier. There are some guys here and we're deep, running backs, tight ends, wide receivers. We're actually deep and we can do a lot with that. And if it turns out that our defense is, it's kind of having difficulty, but our offense, like if that's how we're staying in games and winning some games, I'm okay with that. At the same time, in my opinion, there's way too much talent on this defensive side of the ball, whether it's Sauce Gardner or all the resources in the defensive line, DJ Reed, Jordan Whitehead, all these guys that we brought in that are, look, they're good football players. We can't be the team that cannot get off the field. It can't. That is a coaching thing, and that's where a problem. And then when you look at guys running around, like, why is LaMarcus Joyner and Quincy Williams still there if they cannot do the job? Now, Quincy Williams is going to give you a hit or two every week, and you go, oh, I love that guy. Yeah, but the other plays, he's unable to keep up with the tight end or to cover the screen or what have you, then that's a problem. And we have to get there. Now, Frankie, moving over a little bit, Stay Woke TV. Now, I would be mismanaging the stream if I didn't at least address this question that is all over Jets Twitter and Jetnation. And in the event Flacco wins against the Bengals, now he's 2-0. I mean, I'm sorry, 2-1, 2 games in a row, 2 wins. Zach's healthy. Flacco throws for another 310, 3 touchdowns. What are you doing? You keeping him in? You riding with the hot hand, as Kaz put out an article yesterday saying he waited Monday. He's already doing this shit. We can't even enjoy a damn victory, but he's already saying this stuff. What your opinion, Frankie? Flacco wins, throws for 300 yards, 3 touchdowns. You stick him with the hot hand, as they say, or it's Zach's team. He's ready to come back.
No, we have to know what Zach is all about. I mean, it's very important for this franchise moving forward to figure out the long-term quarterback situation. Getting a few extra wins under Flacco or having Flacco play, it doesn't even guarantee you're going to win. Right. You know, obviously, he's Flacco. Doesn't really do much for you. We have to evaluate Zach Wilson. We have to know what exactly is going to be our strategy going forward, especially including this offseason. You know, we're going to probably draft a quarterback in the draft, but whether it's somebody in the first round or somebody in the 4th round, you know, is dependent upon how Zach plays. If Zach sits the bench, we're not going to know. And then what do you do? So we have to know what Zach Wilson's all about. And with these weapons now, I mean, you see people are getting open. I mean, it's obvious on the tape. We have all these people getting open. So now and as long as we can protect him with the offensive line, you know, now you should be able to get a fair evaluation of exactly what the hell the kid is, because he's going to have open receivers to hit. If he can't find them, if he can't read a defense, then we need to, you know, reconsider where we're going with Zach Wilson. But it doesn't do any good to keep playing Flacco. What difference does that make? We're trying to rebuild something from the ground up. We're in year 2 of this thing with Saleh. We're building it from the ground up, and all the pieces matter. But the one that matters the most, maybe, is Zach Wilson. So we have to evaluate him. It makes no good starting Flacco if Zach's ready to go.
Yeah, I agree. And as fun as the idea can be to play the hot hand, you know, look, guys, let's be real. He's 30. He's 37 or 38. I think he's 37. Yeah. You know, it's a waste of time. I mean, this is more than likely not a Super Bowl team. Okay, more than likely.
I would agree with that. We're not going to the Super Bowl.
Frank, it can, right? It can happen, but more than likely, odds are this is not a Super Bowl team. So even if you're playing the hot hand and he takes you to 10 wins and a playoff visit and a playoff victory, he's 38 next year. And you know what I mean? Like unless you really believe that Joe Flacco is going to give you 3, 4, 5 more years of that play, then okay. But that's highly unlikely. Joe Flacco has 1 victory in his last 12 starts. And we just watched
it. And it took a miracle to get it done.
And it took a miracle. And let's be real here. He had 307. But and again, I'm just as happy as everybody else. I'm super excited, the whole thing. But let's be real here. Again, the last minute, if that 66-yard blown coverage from Corey Davis doesn't happen, then the next drive's full 50-yard. Dude, we're talking about a 200-yard game from Joe Flacco up to that point, 220 yards. That's what we're talking about, guys. Now, again, our offense looked good. We were driving all day. So I'm not complaining. You know, we had the ability to stay in this game mostly due to the offense. So I'm not complaining, but we have to be real here. He looked like complete dog shit in week 1. Week 2, guys, how many passes did he could just flat out miss? I mean, Garrett Wilson could have had 3 more catches, another 50 banger in there if Flacco just hit him. You know, he warmed up and he got it. And great, good job. And I'm not taking it away. But again, without that just the 66-yard pass alone, that's a 240-yard game. Let's just, you know what I mean? Let's just calm the fuck down, everybody. The hot hand. So I think I agree with Frankie. No matter what, man, you gotta, unless the team is just like, if you put Zach in, we're all gonna sit. Like it's something crazy. There's a mutiny. You know what I mean? Okay, then it is. They hate Zach Wilson, whatever. You know, they didn't like what he did to that poor mom. You know what I mean? But I didn't get that opinion. You know, don't forget, ZJ Uzoma walked in with a shirt like this that basically said Zach Man of the Year. So they had quite the offseason together as buddies. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they're waiting for him to come back too. And I venture to say, guys, even in like the Raiders game, if you had a more mobile Zach Wilson back there with that kind of pressure, I venture to say we might have had a different ball game. I mean, he could have got out of some of that shit. We saw it last year. He has elite escapability, we were saying. Remember? And like Robert Saleh said at the end of the year, this is not fluky with Zach Wilson. This is a part of his skill set. This is what he brings. He's good at that. He has that innate ability to sense and respond to pressure that not every quarterback has. And we saw it, man. As much as he was sacked, there were numerous sacks that he got out of 100% by himself, all by himself. So anyway, I think I agree with Frankie. When Zach's ready, you put him in. And that's the way it's going to go. And good for him. Maybe just, Frankie, what about this? The offensive line had 3 weeks to gel. And by the time, you know what I mean? Zach comes into a well-oiled machine. All he's got to do is pitch and catch. Just fucking play.
I can see it.
I can see it too. And look, like Larry Romano says, Frankie, you're making a lot of sense. Look at
I agree. I agree with Larry.
Well, me too. I like this Larry fella.
Hey, you know what else Michael LaFleur's doing? You know, he's doing something really sweet with motions. I don't know if you noticed it, GreenBean. He's blocking linebackers with motion. It's beautiful.
Wait, who is?
Michael LaFleur, our offensive coordinator. Can you believe it? This is something for people to watch. When you see a guy go in motion and we snap the ball before he gets set, like he's just past the quarterback and we snap it, a lot of times what that's doing is it's moving the linebackers to the side that the guy's moving to. And then we run the opposite way. Isn't that beautiful?
I love it.
Let's get these linebackers out of the way, block them with motion, so to speak, poetry in motion, and you run through the vacated hole and boom, there you go. It's a beautiful thing.
The vacated hole. That's what we should call our offense. That's all we're doing. Run through the vacated hole, everybody. But, you know, look, man, and this, I love when offenses force linebackers and defensive linemen to go east-west. I love it.
Yeah.
Get them running.
Right.
To make three, you know, for them to make a 3-yard stop, they have to run 40 yards. I love that kind of stuff. And not for nothing, man, when you looked at that last drive, when the momentum shift took place, when Stefanski had his children next to him on the sideline because the game was over, and CBS had the first time the Browns are 2-0, and it was on the screen, and everybody was happy and partying and all that kind of stuff. There was something else going on, and the momentum slowly shifted, and it started with a 66-yard bomb to Corey Davis and then an onside kick. And when the defense was on the field, you could see it. They were huffing and they were puffing. They had already expelled their energy. They were done. They were taking their tape off and all those kinds of things. And they were back on the field and they were on their heels. And that's what when you make guys run east to west, when your offense is spread and you spread them out like that, wide zone is good for this. Get them running side to side. And when you're in the fourth quarter, they got to spread their lungs. You see their hands on their hips and their mouth breathing and all those kinds of things. That's when you can feast. And that's what happened, man. When the momentum shifted, Eric Allen said it was eerily silent in the stadium after the onside kick. Believe me, those players, they had like, wait, I have to go back out there? This is real? Like they could win? That's it. And when you're able to capitalize on that, that's really the mark of a team turning a corner, guys. I know, like, I agree with the gift. I agree with it. Like I just said, let's not put Garrett Wilson in the Hall of Fame yet. It's one game. I love him too. I'm very happy. Joe Flacco, without the 66-yard blown coverage, he has a 240-yard game. Calm down, you know. But at the same time, you got to give credit to this young team and the aggressive stature or let me just say, approach of this coaching staff. They were aggressive all game. They don't get into that position without the rest of the game. And the rest of the game, they were fighting the whole time. And you have to give it to them, man. And if Zach, dude, putting a young, strong-armed quarterback that's mobile like Zach in there with this team, guys, we could really be on the precipice of something special. To hell with 37-year-old Joe Flacco. If you give us 2 victories, thank you. That's your damn job. That's why you're making $3.5 million a year.
Yeah,
Frankie,
agreed.
I don't want to get personal, but Frankie, but do you make 3.5 mil?
I mean, not in 1 year.
Right, exactly.
Maybe over time.
Yeah, that's right. I'm still working on the 3 part.
Yeah.
I'll get there. By the end of it all, when it's all said and done, I'm like, I'm a millionaire, kind of. But yeah, look, GVH has a good point. 300 plus yards on 59 passes and 300 yards with 60 on busted coverage. Exactly. That's the thing. Like, don't forget.
It was a good game. It wasn't great. That's the way to say it. He missed a lot of throws. Corey Davis was wide open on 2, actually. Garrett Wilson, 3 more. Elijah Moore was open all day, like he always is.
Yeah.
Flacco missed a lot of throws, but he had a good, solid game and took advantage at the end. That's all that happened. And he didn't throw. I don't think he threw any. And he didn't throw any interceptions, so that's nice.
No, right. You got to give him that. You know what I mean? Like, and that's the thing. Like, that's the benefit of having a vet, right? Like, an aged vet. Like, the idea is that he's going to manage the game and be safer. He's smarter, safer.
Hit the layups.
Cooler. Hit the layups, right? And look, when there was all that intensity at the end, another trait came out, which is what you hope a vet will bring, and that's being calm, cool. Joe Cool. That's what you want. And you saw it. He was as cool as a cucumber, man.
Yeah, it was just another day. He's seen it 100 times before.
Right? 100 times. Much bigger. Much bigger than this.
Yeah.
This is just the Browns week 2, man. When you break? I'm 37 years old.
Oh, look, another broken coverage.
Yeah. Oh, look at that. Thank God Mike LaFleur set that up all day.
I don't know what we set up all day. Corey Davis just ran straight down the field. I don't know what we were setting up.
Well, you know what it was that they ran out of that alignment. This is what Connor Hughes said. Now, he had if you guys didn't see the Connor Hughes tweet thread, it's worth looking. I mean, he used the next gen stats, the animated thing, and it's really well done. And whether it's accurate or not, I'm not sure, but he said that they ran that alignment a few times throughout the game. And from that alignment, Elijah Moore and Corey Davis did specific things out of it. So Ward responded to Elijah Moore and or Corey Davis, as did the other defensive backs, in a very specific way. So when they saw that at that point in the game, they expected to see something similar. And then Corey Davis ran a route out of it. He did a 7-yard break, which is something that they've never done out of that alignment before that play. And Denzel Ward bit on what the play looked like the last few times that they ran it. Now, if that's accurate, dude, that's what you want to see. Now, again, guys, there are limits to my expert. I can talk, I can joke, I know football, but like those specifics, that's why I'm not a coach. You know what I mean? The numbers and shit like that, I get lost in the sauce at times. That's why I look to guys like what Frankie's doing and guys like Joe Blewett and Sabo and Luke Grant and all these guys. I look to those guys for this stuff because that's where I want to get my good information. But what Connor Hughes was saying there, it's pretty interesting, man. Now, and if LaFleur is playing chess, like he has a few of those kind of game plans running, and that's what you never know what's going to present itself. And if you're running a game plan very similar, you guys remember in 2010, we had a wide receiver / wildcat quarterback called Brad Smith. Now, what we did with him, he was a quarterback in college, but we never ever used him to throw the ball. He ran the ball out of the Wildcat 100% of the time. And I said it all year, dude. I can't wait till they let him throw the ball. They're going to eat it. They're going to eat it alive. They're going to bite so hard. And guess when they did it, Frankie?
The playoffs.
The champion. No, it was the game against the Patriots. I think it was. Yeah, but it was the playoffs. I think it was the second game. Might have been the first. and they got like a 30-yard play out of it. And that's so they were setting it up for a friggin' year. You know what I mean? Like, and the thing is, it was an effective play. So Brad Smith had a just uncanny ability to find that hole, even though they knew he was
awesome.
Dude,
Brad
they
Smith
knew he
was
was getting it,
awesome.
Frank. Wasn't he so good? And he ran like a deer. Whew, so big, so
and
fast.
It didn't ever look like he was running hard at all.
Jogging.
And he was smoking everybody. I love that guy.
It's the truth. It's the truth. And they knew he was going to take, all you have to do is watch him and see where he's going and stuff it. And they couldn't. And they couldn't do it. He was that good. He was getting, anywhere 6, 10, 8, 12, 15 yards every single time he did it. And then in the playoffs, they did it. The whole team ran up, and there was Jericho Cotchery. I think it was him streaking down the side, and he threw it. And he's like, hey, guess what? He happens to be a quarterback at heart. That's his real position. And he tossed it. Perfect pass, 30-something yards. Yes. So who knows? This shit happens all the time. But that would be really nice if that's the way that it went. But again, look, if it takes 59 throws for Flacco to get 307 yards and we win, I don't care. I just don't.
I did see that thread by Connor Hughes. I didn't agree with it, to be honest with you. The safety has to get his ass over there. Like, regardless of who was covering the flat, you can't just let receivers go down the field. The safety has to get over there.
Yeah. Well, right. And we don't know what he was saying was the assignments is such that it was Ward's responsibility. Now, again, I don't know, but it looked nice. It's worth taking a look at. It's cute. I'll tell you that. But again, so if we have an offensive coordinator that is actually able to do those types of things and has those potential chess moves rolling all day, he's doing that.
I honestly don't think. I mean, I see progress on the offense. I'm very optimistic about the offense.
Right.
Oh, and by the way, would you like to know our DVOA ranking for the offense right now?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Would you like to know?
Yes.
That's the good news. The offense is currently ranked 13th in the NFL. 13th.
Now,
we have a top 13 offense, ladies and gentlemen.
There you go. It's all we ever wanted. Top 15. Remember? That's all we were talking about.
We got it.
Yeah, we got it.
Season over.
Now, where's our defense, Frankie? And then we're going to go ahead. We're going to talk to Chris Pratt again. We're going to bring Watu-K on for some trivia. I didn't even realize it was 10. I just looked up. I'm like, oh. So my bad. But give us the defense. How we looking?
Now the bad news. Now, just so people believe in the DVOA rankings, here are the top 10. Tell me if you think these are top 10 defenses in the NFL right now, in order. Buffalo, Tampa Bay, Jacksonville, who just pitched a shutout, San Francisco, amazing. Denver, Dallas, the Chargers, the Steelers, the Eagles, and then the Bengals. That sounds like a lot of good defenses, right?
It does, yeah.
And that's how DVOA has them ranked 1 through 10 so far.
Makes sense, yeah.
Only after 2 games, there's a lot of variation, and so the Jets, on the other hand, are currently ranked, keeping in mind that there's only 32 teams in the entire league, so you can't be worse than 32. We are number 32. Yes, sir.
Amazeballs.
And we were 32 last year.
That's right. So we have improved none. Now, here's the thing. And Leah, look, you can say what you want, right? Yeah, this looks better, that looks better, but say the results are identical. Yeah. So think about this. Robert Saleh, and I've mentioned this numerous times, I like to say this, is probably the only head coach in NFL history in his first 2 years to get 5 first-round picks and his 2 second-round picks to be in the top 3 or 4.
That's the other thing. Listen, if this defense is predicated on having Nick Bosa and DeForest Buckner and Fred Warner and Jimmy Ward and Richard Sherman, it's not a good defense because those players don't grow on trees. I'm sorry.
Yes. Right. It's a great point, man. But look at this is who we added to the defense this year. We got Carl Lawson back. He's new. We brought in Solomon Thomas. He's new. Jacob Martin. He's new. We drafted Jermaine Johnson, 1st-round pick. He's new. We got a 4th-round defensive end in Michael Clemens. He's new. We added defensive backs DJ Reed, top 5 cornerback Sauce Gardner, and top 3 strong safety in the NFL statistically, Jordan Whitehead. We also brought in linebacker Quan Alexander and the returning Jamie Sherwood. How in the world with all that added talent, are we still the same defense? 30
That has
seconds.
me worried. I mean, the eye test is one thing, the all 22 footage is another, and then I looked at the DVOA stats to see if I was going crazy, and the DVOA backs up what I'm seeing, and that's why I'm super worried about it. Now, it's only 2 games.
It's only 2
Okay?
games.
Not
That's
time
it.
to panic. Don't hit the panic button. Maybe the Ravens and the Browns are just that good, and we
Maybe.
couldn't handle them. They're just up here, and we're over here, and so maybe. But if this continues, we got a big, big, big problem. That's what I'm trying to say. Big problem.
Big problem.
Because
And
it's
that-
Salah's defense. You can't fire the DC and get anywhere with this. It's Salah's defense. We are trying to be the 2019 San Francisco 49ers defense. That's who we aspire to be, really.
That's who we want. Now, and Salah has to know that, like, if Ulbricht simply cannot do it, then he has to take. I know you want to be the CEO, head coach.
I
and
mean, maybe
relinquish-
he's calling the wrong plays on defense. I don't know.
That-
Maybe it's about calling the plays. But
right.
the thing is that it's
Situationally,
almost
Frankie.
structural. It's almost structural. Like maybe you can't run a wide 9 technique with Carl Lawson. You have to run it with Nick Bosa because Nick Bosa is just that guy who's that fast, or a Von Miller or a Myles Garrett or one of these top guys, TJ Watt. Maybe Carl Lawson's not good enough to play in a wide 9. He's not fast enough. I don't know. And then if that's the case, you got to change what you do, Salah. Right?
Yeah. Well, and right, and it's alarming, guys. I mean, that's the thing. Like, look, we can be excited about what we saw. We can be happy. We can be hopeful. We saw things. You know what I mean? There were things. And again, I just, while we're shitting on the defense here, I will remind everybody, when we needed them, we absolutely needed a stop. They rose to the occasion. At the end, with the last 22 seconds, we needed something. All they had to do was get in the field goal range, and they can do that.
And that kid has a big leg, by the way, for those who don't know. Cade York.
McPherson, he's my fantasy kicker. I love him.
No,
yeah.
Cade
York.
York.
No. Yeah, Cade York. Right. Sorry.
And he is a new guy. Yeah, he was the only kicker drafted this year. They took him in the 4th round. He can kick like 70-yarders. So literally, in practice, he'd been doing 70-yarders. They have footage of this.
Yeah, he was the guy that all of us, every mock draft, we said, oh, yeah, and Cade York. That's what we did every week. Chris Bradigan checking in. What's up, Chris? Good to see you, buddy. Up there in the Chicago area. My friend is actually driving over there right near you. He's south of Lake Michigan right now. Very good buddy of mine. I effing love you guys. Speak the truth, fellas. Well, we love you, Chris. You know that, buddy. And we're glad that you're here. He says, here's another Chris Bradigan. He says he's making tacos and cleaning his stove. There you go. He's having a taco Thursday, man.
Listen, man. Tacos. Who doesn't love a nice taco? Let me ask you that, Greenbean. Who doesn't love a nice taco?
Is there anyone out there that doesn't? Because the thing is with the tacos, you can put anything you want in it. You like a fish taco? Fucking have a fish taco. You want to stick a sausage link in there? Stick a sausage, like eggs and bacon, whatever the hell you want.
It's a perfect pocket for your food. It's a food pocket that you can eat.
There you go. There's nothing wrong with the taco. So, hey, let's have some fun with some trivia, man. That's what we'll do right now. Let's bring on our good friend, the president of the Virginia Jets fan club and New York Sports Wicker Media. Let's say hello to our good buddy, Wat2K. What's up there, dude? How you doing?
I'm not doing well at all tonight. Man, Mitch Trubisky. No, I'm not happy tonight. Mitch Trubisky has thrown 20 passes, and not one of them has been to Pat Fryermuth. What is this Pittsburgh offense doing? They are 32 in DVOA on offense as far as I'm concerned. What are they thinking about?
No one cares about your fantasy team, Wat2K.
Yeah.
That's rule number 1.
No. I'm looking out for GreenBean here because he's a Fryermuth guy.
I am a Fryermuth guy. I love me some Fryermuth.
Well, what about Njoku? Njoku has a touchdown.
Unbelievable.
He does.
David Njoku. You see, they had a picture of him without a shirt on before the game. He looks like a freaking animal. This guy is massive. You wouldn't think he was that big.
No.
I haven't thought about it.
I mean,
I know they showed a picture. I was like, whoa, the hell? It looks like a weightlifter, like one of those guys. Oh, now they're showing Nick Chubb. They were showing Jalen Hurts squatting 600 pounds in college.
Yep.
600. Jalen Hurts. What the hell?
I know.
That's a
why?
strong dude.
Like, why do it?
Well, I don't know, because he's freaking strong. That's why. Why not?
How much could Flacco squat right now?
70.
60? I don't know, 10% of that?
Listen, these are different athletes. Different kinds of athletes.
Hey, who's number 41 on the Steelers? You guys know? The linebacker. Who is that guy?
41? I don't know. Ooh, he made a nice play there.
See that?
Spillane.
Robert Spillane.
Damn, boy.
Man.
See, that's what we need. Like, I don't know, man. Like, our linebackers are rarely doing that. And we've seen Quincy do it, obviously.
Or is it coaching? They have a great, they have a defensive coach. Coach Tomlin's a defensive coach. And it's no coincidence. They always have a great defense. We have a defensive coach and we're 32nd in the league. So what's up with that?
I know it's just it's unfortunate. And again, look, it's week 2, guys. It's week 2.
Yeah, that's true.
We had a lot of influx, a lot of new faces, lots going around.
Turned over the whole secondary for one thing.
Everybody
turned over half the defensive line.
Yeah, I mean, look, Quinnen and JFM. Everybody else is new. I mean, we got Nathan Shepard, of course.
Yeah,
everybody else
can't live without Nathan Shepard.
Him and Ty Johnson. Yeah, we should. Yeah, who?
Oh my God,
Nathan Shepard or Ty Johnson?
Dude,
get rid of these guys like Rasmussen.
What?
Hey, I got something positive to say about Ty Johnson.
Yeah, please.
He had a nice blitz pickup.
Oh my God!
Finally, he did. He had a nice cut block, and I said, "Oh, that's why he's here." I think they think that's what he can do.
Tevin Coleman could have done that also, but hey,
I agree. I don't understand that one either. To be honest,
he sucks so bad, dude. And once again, in the fourth quarter, they go to Ty Johnson. He shouldn't be anywhere near the field unless everybody's legs are broken. And they gave it to him, and he did the exact same thing that he's known for. He dropped the damn ball.
Nah, he got popped. He did.
And what made me laugh so hard? The Jets released their hype video for this weekend, the hype video for Jets Bengals. It said, do you remember last year? And they showed the highlights, Mike White catching the touchdown and all of that. And they made sure, it was a 35-second video. They spent about 10 of those seconds putting in the Ty Johnson touchdown catch. You see him shimmying down the sideline towards the end zone, diving to the pylon, and they even put it on. They didn't put anybody else's name on the screen, but they put Ty Johnson, 17-yard reception.
It's
like, embrace him.
It's a love affair. It's weird. It's the same thing as Nathan Shepard. It's the same. It's a love affair.
I don't mind it. I don't mind Ty Johnson because the offense is working, And I wouldn't mind Nathan Shepard if the defense was working. And same thing with Marcus Joyner, and same thing with Quincy, and same thing. If you want to have a favorite and you keep them and the offense is working, okay, fine with me. And it would be the same with all these other guys on defense. But we have the worst defense in the league, and we all knew these people were problems.
Frankie, let me just say this. I concur that I don't give a shit what I think about a player. If it works, I could care less. The number one issue that I have with Ty Johnson is that he is unreliable and inconsistent. And now in the fourth quarter, when we're trying for a miracle comeback and he's out there and he does the inconsistent thing, that's the problem that we've all complained about for so long. He shouldn't be out there.
Somebody should have, who's responsible for that is Tyler Embry. Somebody needs to ask Coach Embry, why is he out there? That'd be a good question at that point in time. It's not a random point in the third quarter,
Yeah, it makes no sense, man. Like, I mean, it's like the old Schottenheimer thing. Like, he outcoaches himself. He fools himself. It's like, you're overthinking it, man. It's 3 feet. Give it to the guy who just ran the ball. It's like, we look at that drive in the AFC Championship game against Pittsburgh. We ran the ball like 8 times all the way down to the 1 yard line and we start passing it. It's like, why are you doing that? Just, dude, the Steelers are on their heels. Get in the fucking end zone. Nope. We overthink
I wonder if they trust right now Breece Hall in pass pro. You can't trust Michael Carter because Michael Carter in pass pro is not good. He's too small. He does his best, but
he does. Yeah, he sacrifices.
He
his
tries.
Body. Yeah,
he tries. He tries, but he's just so small. But Breece Hall could and will probably be fine. But at this point, they probably don't trust him, and that's probably why Ty Johnson's here, if I had to guess. And maybe eventually it's Bam Knight, taking his spot.
Yeah.
But they probably didn't want to have 3 young bucks, in the running back room. They probably wanted some veteran, which is why it surprised me that it was Ty Johnson and not Tevin Coleman.
Yeah,
but
I was blown away, man, blown away. You guys know my feelings on the running backs, but look, and I know Stud City. I hear you. I get it. Yeah, I mean, trust me when I tell you.
But he wasn't trying to do that.
That's the thing, right? That's the point. You know what I mean?
Out, but
it's like just because it worked out, that's not the goal. Believe me. That's not what we were doing. Hey, no, go out there real quick. We're gonna throw it to you. Drop it.
If you're inside the hash marks, make sure you drop the ball. It's all about the seconds.
Right. That's not what we're doing. Yeah, I don't know what the hell's going on, man. And it makes no sense. And this is a good point too. Eddie McGuire, what they were using Michael Carter very effectively in the to help Mac. That's the thing. Like the great thing about Michael Carter, like we're saying, is that he's going to give you 100%, and he's consistent with that. And like he might be small and you might not be able to be as effective as someone else, but you can trust him. I mean,
we block it up for 1 yard, he'll get you 3. We block it up for 0, Michael Carter get you 4. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy. If we block it up for 5, he'll get you 20. I love Michael Carter. He's fantastic.
He'll find his way back to the line of scrimmage if he's trapped behind. If Mike LaFleur calls a reverse at the wrong time, like he did last week.
A couple of those those didn't work out too good last week.
Not too good. Not too good.
Yeah, look, and B-Tribe is maybe Ty's good. I mean, but B-Tribe, just the fact that you're saying that, like, look where we're looking.
Like, make him a coach. Make him a coach.
We have coaches, right? Make him a coach. Like, that's the whole thing. Like, maybe he is B-Trav. Well, look at where we're looking. Like, what we really want is guys that we could put on the field and actually win. Now, Ty Johnson, in fairness, is electric at times with the ball in his hands. Nobody's going to say otherwise. But again, when you have somebody who's inconsistent, that means they're not trustworthy. And that's the worst trait to have other than always injured. It's somebody who's never available is worst. Second worst is somebody who you can't trust.
And you'd have to ask, like, why do they trust him?
I don't know.
They trust him, but they don't trust Denzel. Let's not open a can of worms. But
oh my God,
too late.
We almost made it.
We made it 2 hours and 17 minutes, guys.
So, all right, let's get into some trivia, guys. You know the rules. Wa2K is going to ask us a Jets-related question. We are going to agree not to look up any information in the search engine. We're trying to get this with our own brains, with our actual Jets knowledge. We have a 4-minute time limit. If we do not get it after 4 minutes, Wa2K, who's running the timer, will let us know, and he will win. If we get it under 4 minutes, we win. So, Wa2K, what do you got for us tonight?
All right. So, as we know, this past week in Cleveland, Ohio, Greg Zuerlein kicked a 57-yard field goal. And I think that was one of the big moments of the game where we really started to feel like we had a legitimate chance to win that game. However, that was not the first time that happened in Jets history. Zuerlein tied the Jets record for the longest field goal in franchise history, named the only other Jets kicker to kick a 57-yard field goal. I want the kicker, the year, and who he did it against. Your time starts now.
John Hall
Raiders
against the Patriots in whatever year. I'm not the historian.
I forget what year John Hall was drafted. So it's not John Hall?
It is not John Hall. I feel like somebody was going to get the kicker pretty quickly, so I decided to add an extra layer.
So it's not John Hall, B. Trav. Gangrene says it's Jason Myers.
Jason Myers is incorrect.
Strong Lake, 57 yards. Let's go with Feely in 2009.
I knew somebody was going to get it quickly, and somebody in the chat already has the answer. They already have the kicker. Duncan McLean got it. The Catman, Chandler Catanzaro did it.
And what year? What year, Duncan? Why we got to get it?
All right, now give me the year, and I want the team they did it against.
Okay, all right. So he was here for 2 years.
Got 3 minutes.
Until 2 years ago. So he was here for Joe Douglas's first, and he retired in Joe Douglas's second year, which was 2021. So it had to be 2020. Has to be.
Catanzaro? Nope.
2019 then.
Nope.
It has to be.
So you could just go through all the years now. So
but it has to be. He was only here 2 years.
Nope.
2018.
Nope. Larry, I'm not making anything up.
He's
I
full
don't
of
make
shit.
up trivia. Absolutely not.
Frankie, Y2K is full of shit.
I don't think so. He's
You know why? Because I went to Buffalo Wild Wings to have the sauce earlier.
Yeah,
So what else
right.
would
There
I
it
be
is.
full of right now?
There it is.
I mean, well, how was the sauce?
You know what? I did a video on it. I recorded my live reaction. Hey, I'm shameless.
Live reaction to the sauce.
Yeah, live reaction to sauce. No, I got to tell you, it was pretty good. I would say out of a 10, I would give it maybe a 6. Good
Was
level
it
of heat.
sweet or
A little more.
Frankie,
heat than
hold
sweet.
on. You're killing our time here. We're on the clock here.
I'm
So
sorry.
it's Canton Zero. And now
Canton Zero.
so it's 2021. I mean, the guy, he wasn't here.
Nope.
Wait, am I thinking of what's the guy? Was that not his name, Frankie? Castaneda?
I think you're thinking about Chase McLaughlin,
No.
another kicker starter with the
The guy
C.
who retired in preseason 2 years ago, right?
Carrie Vedvik.
No, God.
Did his career even start?
I don't know.
So what do you got? 2015 versus the Dolphins, Jeremy says.
No.
I don't know. I don't have
more
it.
recent than that.
So what, 2017?
It was 17. You got one, and we got a minute and 5 seconds left.
So all right, who we playing to? So let's go Patriots.
Aaron got it. Aaron Daniels finished it off. It
Aaron
happened to be
Daniels.
in the very same stadium where Greg Zuerlein kicked his. It was in Cleveland.
Wow, this is magic.
Canton Zero 2017 against the Cleveland Browns at Brownie Elf Stadium.
What an amazing thing. Now I like your theming. I like how you did that. I should have thought about that. Well done, Y2K. But think about that. What a magical game this was. You know, the last time that this happened was the Browns 21 years ago. And then this kick for the Jets. Last time it happened was the Browns. This is a man. Who knew?
So
Who
we've
knew we
never
were-
had a 60-yard kick made ever?
Not yet. But I'll
Well,
tell you
how-
what, I think Zuerlein could do it this year.
He is Legatron.
Wouldn't shock me. He is Legatron.
After all.
Greg
And then our
Delaney.
DVOA on special teams might go top 5.
Ooh, our DVOA for special teams is currently
12.
12. So we're doing good at everything except the defense.
It's about where it should be because they had about as bad of a first game as you could ask for, and then they had as good of a game as you could ask for. But I feel like you should get some bonus points just for converting an onside kick. That ought to bump you up a couple of spots.
I don't know how they do that, to be honest.
Who knows?
Yeah, no, me neither. But no, but you're right. I mean, the odds against getting an onside kick. But you know what I really like? I mean, I have to say, like, while there's so much chance involved with an onside kick, of course, I really do think that, like, the way that man did that was fantastic. It looked like he was going to the right, and at the last minute, you know, he just kind of twisted
And
his
all the
leg.
dudes were pointing. If you notice, we had all of our dudes on the right pointing to the right.
Yeah.
As he was approaching it. Like, I don't know if that was strategy or what, but then we had our two animals, Will Parks and Justin Hardy, you know, who really they live for that. Like Justin Hardy, like
Love
this
it.
is his moment. It's like this is your one op, Justin. Like it's like that Eminem song. If you got one opportunity, one chance, you got to make the most of it, or whatever he says.
Good
Right?
enough.
For
Yeah.
Justin Hardy, this is his moment. This is your thing, buddy.
And what was so close, you got to remember, Cleveland, as man was going for the kick, they called timeout. He almost gave it away. You know, Cleveland called timeout at first on the onside kick. He had to go back and do it again. So if he had gone any farther, he might have given it away that he was going to be kicking left, even though he was aiming right. So all these little things had to work out just so for it to happen.
Strategery.
Yeah. Now Gangrene is saying he thought Myers had a 58-yarder. Y2K. Is that not accurate?
I always go to Pro Football Reference. So if I'm wrong, it's because Pro Football Reference is wrong.
There you
But I
go.
looked up the longest kicks, and I think Myers made a 58-yarder, but I think it was in Seattle. It wasn't with the Jets.
There you go. Yeah, it'd be nice. I mean, you know, how many 60-yarders have there been? I mean, we kind of just, you know, like, you know, the new era, we're like, 60. But I mean, forever, 60 was like unheard of.
Yeah, Dempsey.
I mean, the Broncos set up a 64-yarder. Nathaniel Hackett in that game said 64-yarder. That's my target. We got it. Nope.
All right. Since the merger in 1970, there have been 25 field goals at 60 yards or more.
And how many of those are recent? I mean, for a long time it was just that one.
Sheesh.
Remember the
What's
one?
the longest field goal ever made? 66 by Justin
66.
Tucker?
Yeah, that's it. 66 by Tucker.
Who's this
Yeah, and
next?
Tom Dempsey. And Dempsey had the record for 43 years. I haven't told you when I went to the Hall of Fame in Myrtle Beach. You know, the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Myrtle Beach.
Did they have his block foot?
They have his shoe. It is. Yeah. It's surreal to look at the shoe of because he had a
That should
stub.
have been outlawed.
You know, I know, dude. Think about that. It just so happens that the guy who kicks the longest field goal has a wooden block. He has a square foot and a wooden block.
That's not fair. How's that fair?
Not fair in the slightest.
Yeah.
And didn't they wasn't it in the snow and they came out and they snow blew the field for him too?
Oh man.
I think they did.
It was I think it was New Orleans versus I want to say Detroit. It was against Detroit. So at the time, I guess that game would have been outside if it was in Detroit. Here it is. Let's see. Dempsey's kicking approach and blah blah blah. Okay. And it's in black and white, but I'm not sure if it was in Detroit or if it was in New Orleans. But I know those were the two teams.
Here it is. Oh no, so they didn't come out and do it. Here we go. I'll show you guys right now. We didn't. I'm remembering something else as far as the snow, but here's the kick. So if you guys can see here, let me make it big for you.
Cool.
You can see here. Look at his foot. You see the foot, guys. So Y2K went to the Myrtle Beach extension of the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and that shoe is in there. But look at this, guys. A lot of the young fans, you don't know. This is the record holder for forever. My whole football life up till recently, this was the guy. 63-yard field goal. It hadn't been touched for fucking decades.
From 1970 to 2013, that record held up.
So
that's
43
amazing.
years. For 43 years, this guy had the record. But look, he's got a hammer foot. It's like
that should have been illegal.
100%.
That's why I had to move the goalpost back.
Because it was 1970. Nobody had replay. People barely even watched the games on television.
Right.
Half the people didn't even know what the NFL was.
No, they didn't know. They're like, doesn't every kicker have a square foot?
They're like,
this is when they had to move the goalpost back from the front of the end zone to the back of the end zone, I bet.
That's
right. The reason.
Yeah. So let's watch it. Here it goes. Let's see his form and everything. You see, it's a totally different game. Here we go. Here he goes.
It's like he's almost straight behind.
He's just right behind it. Yeah. He didn't
soccer style.
Kick. No, that's how they used to kick, straight ahead.
Yeah.
And then the soccer style kickers came in later. Changed
Look at the
everything.
place. The place went nuts.
At least people are in the stands.
You could see it. You could see the reaction.
Look at everybody. Yeah, it's packed.
Oh, it was outdoors. Yeah, that looks like it's definitely a home game. Might be like at Tulane or something.
Yay, square foot kicker did something.
That's the Saints. Yeah, the Saints, they couldn't believe it. They were the Aints still.
Are they the Archie Manning Saints?
I'm not sure.
Probably right around that time, yeah. That was the only thing the Saints did until like Drew Brees and Sean Payton came along.
Archie Manning. You know he has a song about him?
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Archie Manning has a song. That's how good Archie Manning was.
He was good.
You know, Archie Manning was like the first running quarterback ever, and he was really good. And then he has two sons, and they can't move.
Maybe Cooper can run. I don't know.
I think Arch maybe can run.
So let me just tell you guys.
Cooper can run, actually. He was a wide receiver.
Just so we know where we are, we'll hang out till after. We got to see how this ends. But the game is now with 1 minute and 4 seconds left between the Steelers and the Browns. The Browns just went up. It's 16-14. The Steelers have 1 minute and 4 seconds to get into field goal range.
But that's the same as our game. This was basically this is our game redux. We're the same as the Steelers.
That's right. We're the same.
We are the Steelers.
Finally.
Oh, wait. No, the Browns have the ball. The Steelers blew it. I must have missed it. This is over. This game's over then.
Oh. The game. Well, it's only the third.
Oh, it's the third quarter. What the hell's the matter?
I was like, that's
no, that's what I'm
it's
saying. This is exactly kind of where we were in the game.
Forget it, man.
It was around, that makes it even better, Greenbean, because this is about exactly what it was with us. It was like this. The score was very similar.
That's
going
true.
into the fourth quarter. That's the whole point.
I like it.
We're the Steelers now.
We are the Steelers
with worse uniforms. That's all.
I love our uniforms.
Not
really. I like the colors though. Hey, you know, let me see if I could show you guys something.
Why we're going white on white for the third straight week? Can we bust out the green jerseys again?
Well, supposedly Sala doesn't like
white.
the Sala doesn't like the green jersey.
If anything, we should go black on black.
We can only do it 3 times a year. The alternate uniforms.
It's
limited how many times you could do it. Yeah, and we've already determined our dates for that. So.
Stupid rules. Why do they have so many rules, man?
I know. I'm
taking elbows your man downfield. How dare they?
Right. Let's let them roam, man. Give me some freedom, baby.
Wild, wild west. Why not?
I like the most is when they have the black end zones. When they got the end zone that's black in MetLife Stadium, it looks sharp. I like when they do that. When
I'd like to get the NFL logo off our field. That'd be nice. Off the mid. Can we have a logo, please?
Thank you. Right. What? You know what? You know, remember forever we had the Meadowlands red circle.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was that?
Red circle.
That looked ridiculous.
I don't
remember that.
You don't remember?
Oh yeah, in the 80s. Yeah, Jets are green and white, but you had a red circle on the friggin' field. It was It was so ridiculous.
Why? I don't remember that at all. I have no memory.
You know why? Because we were the tenants and we had to bow down to the Giants and do whatever they wanted.
Oh, yeah.
No,
we weren't
because well, no, because that was because they didn't want to have to change it for the Jets and Giants. That's what it was.
That's why we have the NFL logo, you know.
Yeah. I mean, do we only have one field? I mean, a lot of these fields like Arizona, Dallas, they have fields they could just kind of move in and out. They have all kinds of fields that they roll up. I mean, shouldn't they have I would think they'd have separate ones for the Giants, separate ones for the Jets. So
I'm not
why
sure how
should
that works?
Yeah, I've been to Dallas. I went to the Arlington Stadium, and they have 6-7 fields down there. There's like game fields, practice fields, college fields.
I bet you they keep the field in place until it gets a certain level, and then they switch it out.
Yeah,
I bet you that's what they do.
Yeah, I guess we just have the same one that causes injuries all the time. That's the one we use.
Yeah, But, on the plus side, you get to have concerts and you get to make money if your name is Johnson or Mara. You get to make millions and millions of dollars on concerts and soccer and football and everything else. And, if a few football players, break a few ankles and have ACL injuries and, hey, that's life. What does that have to do with profit?
It's not the best picture here, but I'll show you. That just let me see here. This is what it was in the middle of the field, Frankie. This is what it looked like. You see that?
Yeah, that New Jersey Meadowlands thing.
This one.
Yeah, there it is.
Oh, maybe that does.
Yeah, this is it here, over here. For some reason, I can't get it.
Yeah, there's the display on the left-hand side of the screen there. You can see.
I guess I didn't mind it too much.
It was just benign, you know what I mean? But like, it's like, we'd like to have something that's kind of ownership. That was just kind of like, it's not bothering anybody. But how about something exciting? Like that's like playing for the field goal. You know what I mean?
I like the old Jets airplane logo, the old school airplane logo. That'd be great right in the middle of the field.
Right.
Do that. That'd be beautiful.
Right, man. I agree. So Ablab checking, he says, remember when fans used to run on the field? Good old days. Yeah, right. Why don't they do that? You want to hear a fun story? When I went to the first ever Ozfest tour years ago up at Giant Stadium, I mean, I have a whole story about this girl I met the night before and took her with me, but that's a whole other thing. So, but when we go to the show, it was Pantera, Marilyn Manson, Typo Negative, Ozzy Osbourne did a set, and then he came out with Black Sabbath, and it was the first time that they were together in 20, 30 years, whatever it was. The second song of Black Sabbath was a song called Into the Void, one of my favorite Sabbath songs. And as if it was like, it seemed like everybody knew to do this at the same time. But when the song started, the entire, I would say 90% of the lower level decided to run and jump over the barrier onto the field. Like the whole, I mean, thousands and thousands of people decided to jump the wall at the same time. And security and the New Jersey State Police were trying to stop everybody. And I literally watched them get beat up. Like the fans just started beating up security and destroying, and they left. Like the cops and security left, and we were alone in the stadium, the fans and Black Sabbath. For the rest of the set, there were no cops and no security. It was a scare. I thought that was going to be gunshots. It was scared the living hell out of me. So maybe the fans on the field thing, I don't know. Maybe
did you jump the wall? Did you jump the wall?
No, I didn't want. I was on. Truth is, I was on a lot of mushrooms, and I was just kind of like I was like, I just want to stay. I just want to watch the show. I was like, I am not. Somebody's gonna get killed down there. I was like, I'm good. I was good. But anyway, so Ablab, I don't know. Maybe times have changed, man. Right? The good old days for a lot of reasons. Nowadays, things get dangerous. People are nuts anymore. So you can't trust anybody, Ablab. What's this? Jets 102 checking in.
Yep.
Rams and Chargers interchange logo at midfield. I know, well, dude. So many of these
they built their stadium different. I mean,
they did.
I don't know how we built our stadium.
They do so much of a better job of managing it. I mean, you remember when they made like a little mini documentary about the MetLife Stadium and what all they add, all the little kind of cool things they do to account for both teams. And they in the shops, they have the spinning racks. So like they just spin them all around and it's Jets, and then the Giants come and they spin them all around and it's already stocked. And and they were like so proud of it. That's the best we get. We get spinning racks in the store. That's what we got. We don't get the logo.
Look, man, we talked about this last week. They didn't take any taxpayer money. It's a private stadium. They can do whatever they want. It's their stadium, not yours. You just use it.
We just go there and see stuff in there.
I hope our biggest complaint one day could be the logo at midfield. That should only be our biggest problem in the chat, right?
Yeah.
Well, B-Trav, for clarification, it was their first tour. How's that? Is that better? Is that better, buddy? You're talking about the 20-minute set. You're right, but that was the first tour that they were together since they kicked Ozzy out in the early 80s, I think it was, for Ronnie James Dio. So, all right, man. Well, listen, I think that's about it, guys. I think we had a good show. We had a good.
Well, listen to this though. One thing before we go, the Browns have about 150 yards rushing on the Steelers.
Oh,
so
really?
Maybe there's hope for our defense yet. Maybe.
Well, what was the total? 181? Was that
184?
184. That's right.
So they're in the third quarter, and then they're already at 150. And look, he's carrying them right now.
Yeah, 158. Yep.
So
they're well on their way to 200 again.
Again.
Yeah.
So it may just be the Browns, maybe, and Lamar.
And by the way, Jacoby Brissett is 20 for 29 for 212 yards and 2 touchdowns. He's having a pretty good game.
He's having a pretty good season. Yeah.
Maybe Brissett's the answer. Forget about Deshaun Watson.
Deshaun
we
who?
don't need him.
Let him out of here.
Keep him on the sidelines, that crazy freak.
I wonder if they're having those conversations. Frankie, you got to stay with the hot hand. You got
to. Now, these guys, they might stay with the hot hand because they have a Super Bowl roster. We do not. But that's interesting because his career completion percentage is 60%, and now he's all of a sudden going crazy. So maybe something's clicking for him. Maybe he's having a Testaverde year.
Yeah, that's it. Hey, Frankie, watch this hit at the goal line. Watch Devin Bush.
Ooh.
This is two men colliding, bro. Watch this.
Nice hit, but still a nice run is right.
It's a nice run too. But dude, that's he laid his shoulder into him and he got turned completely backwards and landed. That's a linebacker, bro.
That's a linebacker.
Look at him now. He's pushing. Oh, they don't let him get in. Oh, incredible. This is football.
These are two teams.
This is a football game.
They got help on that one, though. Ooh. Oh, man, they stopped him. That's amazing.
So it's 3rd and goal at the 1 for the Browns. 10 minutes left to go. Okay.
Knobcraft, I have to say, yes, that is a very unpopular opinion, and I staunchly disagree. As much as I love the Dio years, mob rules, baby. Oh, he's in now. But to compare the two.
Scores. All right.
Yeah, Dio better solo artists, Ozzy. I know. Come on. Knobcraft, you got to slow that roll. Ozzy is Sabbath. Well, Tony Iommi is. It's it is what it is. But anyway, I think that's about it. Anything else? Y2K, you want to you got a subject you just feel like we need to discuss before we go? Let's do it. How about some predictions, man? We're in the season. Y2K, what do you got?
Well, I got a couple bold predictions I'm going to be putting out. That's like one of my new weekly features. But
what about just the game here then?
Just the game in general. I'm going to say Greg Zuerlein kicks a field goal in the last minute. I think the Jets are going to win this game 23-20. And I just got to say, I'm so excited about Elijah Vera Tucker and where he's going to go. This is going to be an all-pro caliber guard. I think after last season, people were pretty excited. You could kind of see the potential, but you wanted to see him take that next step up, and he absolutely has. He is becoming a linchpin on that offensive line. And that trade just looks better by the week. By the week, it is getting better and better and better. And that's just going to make the rest of the line and the offense that much more potent. So Jets win on Sunday. Oh, and that will be the first time that we've been over 500, I think, this late in the season since, 2017? I think it's been 5 years. I think then we were 3-2. So,
amazing.
Yeah. So let's do it.
Amazing. So what was your final? Y2K? I'm sorry.
I'm going to go 23-20 Jets.
23-20. I like it. Frankie, what do you think is going to happen, Mr. 7-2?
I am picking the Jetsies, but I think it's going to be in a shootout. I think Joe Burrow is going to have a really nice game. He's going to screen, and defense is going to continue to look bad, and then eventually he's going to start bombing it down. Oh, look, Mo Dean is negative about the Jets. What a surprise.
That's
a shocker.
For his level, that's actually a positive. That's his idea.
Yeah, you got to put a filter on all.
He gave the Jets double
comments.
Digits. Yeah, he gave the Jets double digits. That's positive.
Well, look, let me tell you something. Like in the rehab business, we had 2 rules of thumb. When an addict comes in, somebody who's using drugs, whatever they tell you, cut it in half. I'm using 100 bags of 20 bags of heroin a day. All right, they're using 10 bags. An alcoholic, on the other hand, they are minimizers, so you double it. They go, I'm only drinking 3 beers. Like, all right, he's drinking a 6-pack. It's very accurate. So it's like with Mo Dean, you got to cut it in half.
Same. Just cut Mo Dean in half. So or double the Jets side and half the Bengals. So.
Right.
Yeah, but I have the Jets winning as well. I think it'd be more of a shootout, so in the 30s, like 38-35, something like that.
Wow.
I think Burrow's going to put up points, but I think we can hang with him. I'm optimistic about our offense, less so about the D. Maybe they'll prove me wrong. I hope so.
I like that. Loopy, OU812, he says 31-28. That'd be nice. I mean, dude, if we score 30 points 2 weeks in a row, man, I would be ecstatic. It's funny. We were doing the game, Jeremy and I, and we had O'Leary and Ryan on from Jets Talk 24/7 on at halftime. And Ryan goes, I don't know, I'm thinking maybe 31-28. I go, oh, wouldn't that be fun? It seems like a dream. 31 points. Oh, and it happened. Yep. So it was good. So yeah, maybe you guys are correct. Jinpox he's coming out strong. 43-38.
Wow.
Dude, I would be ecstatic if that was the case.
We'd need some defensive touchdowns, some special teams.
It's time for the defensive line to feast. It is time. The way their offensive line is playing, now's the opportunity. Now you're facing some pass-focused teams. Before it was 2-run-focused teams. Now this week, I want to see Bryce Huff play a whole lot more. This is where I expect Carl Lawson's breakout to happen. There's so many different guys who this could be their week. And I don't want to get too caught up on the sack numbers, but and I think Frankie mentioned, you have to see consistent pressure. And if you're only, and you know what? Early in the game, let's see a blitz on first down or second down. This offense
blitzing,
is shaky. I know. That's why I'm saying it. This offense is shaky. Burrow right now is expecting pressure. Put it in his head quickly that he's going to be getting hit all freaking day. Take a chance.
Get creative, Albrecht.
Yeah. Creativity is not just for offense, boys. I'm telling you.
Yeah. Can we get a corner blitz? Can I get a safety blitz? Can I get a nickel corner blitz? Can I get something? Solid?
They would do it last year with MC2 and it would work. It worked a couple times.
Nobody's expecting that. I mean,
Jordan
they tried
Whitehead,
it.
I guarantee it.
Jordan
Whitehead would
Guidry,
kill on a safety blitz. He'd be awesome at it.
All right.
Oh,
Now,
boy.
now we know Knobcraft is just drinking because, first of all, he says, and he prefers Ozzy just to, now, there's an argument, but you're wrong. Okay. But then he comes out with this, Frankie. He says 16-4 Jets.
This sounds like a whole new video.
Yeah.
Who's gonna
all
get
right.
the 2 safeties?
That's like
Right.
a Yankees Pirates score.
Yeah.
Pretty
Well,
much.
wouldn't that be frustrating? No, come on with the damn safeties. Even though we're winning, we're winning. Oh, another fucking safety. What is this?
But
But hey, that'll take our DVOA out of 32.
You
Right,
can have
keep
them. Take all the safeties you'd like.
Keep them.
Our
Right.
DVOA will go up to 31.
Yeah, right.
Oh my God. Can you imagine? Let's see if we got other predictions. Let's see. So New York Jets get all right. We're losing control. 75-13 Jets. Dio is a legend. Right, Chris. Chris has got it. He's grounded. Ozzy's significant. But Dio, right. Dio's fantastic. But Ablab says 24-21. See, that's kind of where I am too. I'm thinking a few touchdowns, 3 touchdowns each. That's still a lot of fun. That could be constituted, considered a
Both these defenses have that bend but don't break mentality where they'll let you go down the field, but they're okay keeping you out of the end zone for at least for the most part. That's why I could see a lot of field goals from McPherson and Zerline. So
I don't think Zach Taylor's going to allow Burrow to get punished. I mean, that would be the stupidest thing in the world if he just makes him sit back there and wait and doesn't counteract it in some way.
That's the way Burrow plays, though.
That's what Dom C was saying too. Like expect, and this
Call
goes along time
screens.
with what you're saying is like they're going to be looking for a quick 3-step drop, quicks, things, because that's what's going to get us to to slow down. And they're giving him 5-7 step drops right off the gate. That's playing into our strength.
And it's also malfeasance. They're going to get Burrow killed. How many ACL injuries do they want him to have? I mean, he's their whole franchise.
Yeah,
they're not going to protect him. I find it hard to believe.
Maybe they'll get Jacoby Brissett next year at this rate. Who knows?
Yeah. Well, look, Modine checks back in. He says, "LOL, I picked the Jets to win last week, and last week you all picked them to lose. So now Modine is. I know it's not true, but what Modine is trying. Here's the story he's trying to tell us. I am always right. That's what he's saying. He lives in this.
That's what he always says.
Yeah,
he's usually wrong,
and he's the only one.
He's the only one who ever gets anything right.
It's amazing. I mean, what a world. What a frustrating.
Modine, why aren't you on ESPN? Why don't you have your own channel?
Yeah.
I mean, you should take Peter King's job or something. You should be on the 33rd team on that new website.
Oh, yeah.
It should just be Modine.com.
Yeah.
Modine.
All your fantasy predictions, all your betting.
Yeah. What a frustrating world. What a frustrating world to live in when everybody's always wrong except you. It's crazy. Modine, I'm going to tell you a little rule of thumb that we used to have with our patients. And if you see 3 assholes in one day, you're the 4th. Like that's just.
I love all of these gems that come out of GreenBean's therapy experience. These are gems, man.
It's like, I mean, and the thought is like, you're not running into that many assholes in one day. It's you. Mm-hmm. You're the one. Why is everybody full of shit? Well, because it's you. You're the one.
Yeah, these things make a lot of sense. I mean, it's a beautiful thing.
It just takes you minutes. Yeah, you might need to take a minute to break it down, but
That's like the old one.
That makes sense.
It's like, it took me about 5 years to understand this one, and I mean it. I was like, woo, like 5 years. If nothing changes, nothing changes. I'm like, yeah, shit, no shit. And then I realized, like, oh, wait, if nothing changes, like became this profound thing. Sometimes
is this like when Adam Gase was coaching? Is that what?
No. This was back when I was trying to.
I know it's not general,
but actually, it's if nothing changes, it must be Saleh and Olbrecht's defense.
Thank you.
So far, but boom, yeah, nailed it. There it is. Daniel Faust checking. What's up, Daniel? Good to see you. He says, "Who thinks we have a 60% chance to win?"
Well,
3 of you.
I think we all picked the Jets to win. So
yeah. I think he's using the Saleh 60% thing.
Oh,
yeah.
But yeah, Daniel, I gotta say, well, let's see some more predictions. I mean, you guys kind of dried up. Loopy, Jets 2-1. I'm an alcoholic. That's so fun. Hey, man, there's a lot of us out here.
You gotta admit it, bro.
Right?
Yeah, Knobcraft said he's medically prohibited from drinking. I'm like, how do you stay at Jets? It must be pretty hard. You must have something else to get you through these games, man.
Who, me?
You and
anybody
Knobcraft. Yeah, Knobcraft
Yeah.
said he's medically prohibited.
Oh,
So
medically prohibited. Yeah,
medically,
yeah, right. Yeah, I'm also medically prohibited. They're like, dude, we don't want to fucking see you back here.
No.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, it's like there's an old Sia song. It says, she says, living in your head with nothing else to numb you. Like, imagine that. Imagine having to deal with everything without a numbing agent. It's not easy. You know what I mean? But we have life. We have good stuff. We have humor and boobs. You know what I mean? Boobs are good. You play with some boobs. That helps.
Watching the Ulbrich defense could be pretty mind-numbing. I can keep going with this joke.
Yeah, right. It never ends. It's good. It always. Eddie McGuire says, "You were in 20 rehabs, huh, Eddie? I hope you're doing all right, buddy. 20's a lot. I want you to know that."
You definitely aren't afraid of trying.
I did. Let me see. I did 6 or 7 detoxes and 1, 2, 3 rehabs. That's what I did. 6 or 7 detoxes and 3 rehabs. That's what it took for me. That's what it took, buddy. Let's see what else we got. Dark Soldier, what's up, buddy? GreenBean, if I doubled that, what I used to drink, I'd be dead. Yeah. But that's not it. We're talking about what you would report, Soldier. That's the thing. It's what comes out of your mouth, of the alcoholic. Right. Although I'm with you. It's like there's a famous AA guy, Chuck C. He says, one day he was looking out over San Francisco Bay. He's just staring. It's beautiful. Sun's going down. And he says, if that whole bay was filled with whiskey, it's not enough for me. It wouldn't be enough. It's like it just wouldn't fill the hole. So it is. The whole bay could be whiskey, and I would drink it and be fucking miserable. It wouldn't work. And that's me. It just there's one's too many, 1,000 never enough. Sneakers to boots, 27-24 Bengals. Oh, that would be tough. But again, guys,
what are you doing, Sneakers? If we're that close, we got to pull it out, buddy.
Got to pull it out. But here's the thing, and I want to remember, I want to just call back to this, and I want to remind everybody what we're really looking for this year. I mean, obviously more is better, but and it'll be fun. 7 to 9 wins. That's what we want this year. And if we lose some of these games to teams like the Super Bowl defending AFC champions, you know what I mean, by 3 points at the end, like that's okay. We just got to make sure that the blowouts stop, the complete, coming out flat, dead games. That stuff has to go. If we have more than one of those this year, it's a big problem, man. So if that happens while I'm clearly not rooting for that, Amari Cooper, what a scrub. What a scrub. Anyway, that's why we didn't sign him. There.
Did he have a big drop or something? What happened?
Yeah, it hit him in the chest. I think Jacoby Brissett threw a bullet. It hit him. It looked like it hit him in the chest, and it just bounced like 40 fucking yards in the air. No, a little bit behind him. So, but he still should have caught it. It was like the Corey Davis week 1 thing.
You got to catch that, Amari.
Got to catch it, yeah.
You're Amari freaking Cooper. Come on, dude.
Eddie McGuire says 23-17 Jets. I like that.
They just showed Alex Highsmith has more sacks than the entire Jet team. So we're aware of how bad our defense is.
Man, he's played an extra game. I'm not worried about it.
One man outplaying our whole defense.
Yeah, but we had extra game, Frank.
Oh.
Yes, extra game.
Got a head start. You got a head start.
Cooper's got 100. Yeah, Cooper's got 100.
Paris is 28-24. I like that. I like that too. Let's see. Release the Kraken. I like that. I think, let's see. Gangrene says 28-24 Bengals. That's a similar.
I mean, release the Kraken. He's been playing. There's no releasing. He needs to play better. What are we talking about?
Release him.
How? What do you want him to do? Play fullback?
No, maybe get him out there more. He's saying release him. Let him out there. More. Look, man, the truth is when Ulbrich said each guy's going to play 30% or whatever the hell he said, 30+, everybody had a problem with it. All right. Everybody had a problem with it. And Saleh came out and said, well, Ulbrich thinks that, he's going to get off the field in 3 plays. So that's why it's so low.
How's that going? Ulbrich?
Yeah, it hasn't been working that way. But that's how he thinks. So those are numbers. Now, if you have guys, and nobody's getting home, and they, there's a lot to be said for getting into the rhythm of a game, Frankie. You know this. I mean, some positions more than others, but running backs, defensive ends, Guys like, getting the feel, going to battle with the guy in front of you, kind of warming it up and being able to play that mind game and beat him. Sometimes it takes reps. And if you're only getting 12, 16 reps a game, it's like, that's prohibitive. It's prohibitive. There's an argument on both sides to this. Yes, keeping guys fresh. Clearly there's a benefit to that. Guys not being worn down at the end of the game. Yep, get it. Same time, if people are not really getting into that rhythm and they're kind of cold all day, then look, we're seeing the results. Nobody's getting there. So how good is the rotation really? How about just take your fucking 4 guys like the Jets did in the 90s? It was Marvin Washington, Scott Mercereau, Dennis Byrd, Lageman all day, every day. When somebody needed a blow, somebody came in. Paul Fraze came in, gave Lageman 2 plays, and Lageman was back in. And they got it, and they had a great defensive line. So I don't know. Rotation, I get it. But if it's not working, it's not working. Let your guys play. Let your 4 best guys play. So there's the other side of it, Frankie. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, if it whatever works, man. I'm not for anything unless it's working. I'm for what works. That's my thing. Let it work. Otherwise, change it. But don't keep sticking with something that doesn't work. How about that?
Agreed. I mean, look, you don't want to give up on things too early. And I do understand that. You're like, hey, we got to give it a second to take root. I understand that. But the limit, probably 3 games. 3 games. If it's not taking root, then there's no roots.
Yeah.
There's no soil.
Yeah, especially with the next 2 teams, have offensive lines that we should be able to play at least decently well against. So that's the test.
Adam S., congrats. He says he talked to Darrelle Revis tonight at a restaurant.
Congratulations.
What was he eating? What did he smell like? What is it?
Did he give you any tips on how our safeties should play? Or
right?
Was he mentoring Jordan at dinner tonight? What was going on?
Yeah, that's what he needs to be doing.
I'm going to say Whitehead forces a turnover. I'm going to make that prediction. Whitehead either forces a fumble or gets a pick. How about that?
I mean, the left tackle for the Steelers just got bowled over. If we're not doing a bunch of that against the Steelers, we got problems. He just got murdered. Somebody report a murder. Myles Garrett killed Dan Moore. I think it's Dan Moore.
Oh, yeah? Let me see.
Oh, my
God.
God.
Oh, I missed it. How did I miss it?
All right.
I mean, that is murder.
Oh, yeah, there it is. Okay. Wow.
He didn't get home, but still. Holy smokes. That's what we need some of that.
Yeah, the Browns are up to a 96% chance of winning, which means Pittsburgh's got them right where they want it.
According to the Jets.
You got to take a breath, man. I don't think Amari Cooper's a scrub. I mean, I'm just talking about a play. Relax, everybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so he has 7 catches for 101, so he's allowed to drop one that could cost him the game. Sure.
Yeah, right. Makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm just talking about a play.
Yeah.
Look, I'm very situational. Like, my wife says all the time, like, I like if I get upset, I'm upset about, and then like 5 seconds later, I'm not upset anymore. I said what I had to say about the thing. You know what I mean? She's like, well, how do you change? I'm like, because I'm not mad. I was mad about that moment. I was that one thing. I'm not going to drag it into the rest of it. I'm talking about a play. He dropped it. He sucks. You know what I mean?
He sucked at that rep.
That's it. You're a fucking bum. And then the next play, look at that guy. I love him. You know what I mean?
Wait a minute. It's looking like the Steelers are going to lose now, and they have 14 points, and I don't think Trubisky played particularly well.
Oh, we might
get. What's his stat line, Y2K?
Trubisky's stat line, I can't believe they actually punted. 15 for 25, 150 yards, no touchdowns, no picks, just a very boring ho-hum kind of game.
So I don't know what they're going to do. He was taking some shots down the field. I saw that. I don't know.
Look,
could be Pickett, could be Biscuit. We don't know.
30 yards of that, or whatever it was on that amazing, one of the greatest in NFL history, too. Dark Soul just says the Browns right now have a 95.6% win probability. I die laughing if they
It's
lose.
now 98.4.
I think they're going to hold up on the graphics. You know what I mean? They're going to wait a second.
I wish Cade York had just missed one more extra point because then it would be an 8-point game instead of a 9-point game.
Modine likes the elf, Frankie.
Okay, good for you.
I think you might be the only person, Modine. I mean, it's an elf.
Of course, because it's Mo, so he's right. Yeah.
But you always have to put the Modine filter on it. So that means he doesn't like the elf, and therefore it's unlikable or something.
Yeah. So Stud City says that George Pickens called out Trubisky, saying everyone is open all the time. Is that when did he do that? I didn't see that.
This week he was kind of saying, yeah, I've been open a whole lot. Yeah, he was talking a little bit this week.
I wonder what they're gonna do.
But you know what? He backed it up with at least that one play tonight. Now, wait a second. Did he have another catch? And how many catches did he have?
I think he only had
two. Yeah. He had one catch for 36 and one catch for -2.
So that's
exactly lighting it up.
Consistency, George. Consistency.
What are they going to do with this quarterback? I don't know. We'll see. There's going to be pressure. I can tell you this. There's going to be pressure on Tomlin to make a change. The Steelers don't go 1-2. That's not right. What they do. That's not what they do. And the entire city of Pittsburgh, loves, Kenny Pickens because he went to the University of Pittsburgh. And so everybody wants it to be Pickettsburg now. And so there's going to be a lot of pressure. Not that Tomlin responds to pressure like that, but I don't know.
Do you think the fact that Pittsburgh has the extra rest this week, they have a week and a half till they play the Jets, do you think this would be the week to consider making that change to get Pickett a little bit more time?
That would be one thought, or you wait until you have the bye.
But this is a good week to do it. I think so. Like rather than let the season sink. You know what I mean? Like you got an extra 4 days or 3 days, whatever the hell it is. 12 days.
unless you really think Trubisky can do it. I mean, but this is not an inspiring performance here. So
no, it's not.
Oh, another sack. Highsmith now has 4.5 sacks on the year.
4.5 sacks? Oh, now we got to overachieve on Sunday.
Can we get him, please? Why can't we sign a guy like that?
Did you see that dude? What a beautiful. So he rolled on him. What a great spin that was, man.
But that's the beauty of the 3-4 defense. Then you just put your linebacker up there and boom. Yeah, what a move. And boom, it's a 4-3. And this dude is an incredible pass rusher. Man.
The Steelers got us, dude. I would love to see the Browns lose this. Oh my God. Just for novelty purpose. I'm actually happy because I'd rather see Pickett, and all that's maybe not. Trubisky sucks. I don't know. But just for novelty alone, I would love it if the Browns blew 2 in a row like that. Oh, I would laugh.
Well, Cleveland's still got all 3 time. Yeah, Cleveland's still they got 3 timeout. Pittsburgh's down to 1 timeout. And they got the 2-minute warning. So it might be one of those things. Maybe you just pick the field goal and try the onside kick.
Plenty of time. Let's see if the biscuit
This is good. We're going to hang out till the end of this one. Let me see. Oh, out of bounds.
Browns defense through week 2, 34 points allowed in the fourth quarter. Tied for the most in the NFL with the Ravens. That's weird.
That is. But because the Ravens that was one game. You know what I mean? It's funny.
Gave up 1 to us, I think.
I have Dolphin fan friends, and they're like, "You see what you see what you're in for this year." I said, "Dude, look, you think that Tua is 6 touchdowns a game, dude? That's like you guys spent. You're done. You're spent. I mean, not done, but how often do you think that? Dude, what a catch! Holy shit!
Yes, Freiermuth! Yes!
Dude, I didn't even know who it was. Look at that guy.
Finally,
I like him. I didn't even know it was him.
Praise the Lord,
dude! I'm telling you. I love his hands, man. He's such strong hands, dude. I love Freiermuth. He's like the perfect tight end, in my opinion.
Oof.
Oh God.
I mean, Njoku's played really now. You guys are disrespecting Njoku.
I like Njoku.
This might have been, from what I'm seeing, his best game. He's had a really good game. No doubt about it.
Freiermuth again. Njoku was disappointing for a couple years. Lots of drops, though.
He had a drop tonight, but he had a good game.
Oh, picked. Oh, they picked.
Oh.
And Pickens tried another great catch. Almost defended it, but nope.
Yeah. And Njoku, 9 catches, 89 yards, 1 touchdown. 9 catches on 10 targets. Fantastic
drop. And that's a great game for a and that's oh my goodness. That's the type of throw they want Trubisky to make. They're saying it's no good.
That's on Pickens.
It was an interception.
Oh, it's not out of bounds. No, he's out of bounds.
Okay. Not over yet?
Not over.
I can't see the game.
That's a terrible throw, though. I mean, for God's sakes.
Pickens
What kind
should
of
have
a
had it,
throw
in
is
my
this?
opinion, though. I think if he put in a little bit more effort, he could have got it. I don't know what
Oh, he
that
stepped
was.
out. Man.
So they're at the 26th, though. I mean, they could conceivably kick a field goal if they had to.
Ooh.
Go for the kick.
Totally.
Man. But that's a terrible throw, though.
It is.
I think they're going to Pickett for us, man. It's Kenny Pickett time. This guy can't make throws outside the numbers.
And they got a lot of good receivers on that team. Pickens,
that's the
Johnson,
point.
Claypool.
Yeah, that's the whole point. They're saying we should be able to use these guys on the outside, you know? Whoa.
Oh, drop. Oh, pass interference. There it is.
Pickens is good, man.
Yeah. Dude, he's so good. I loved him. You guys know. I said it all the time. The only thing that, is he was injured. Most dominant. Dude, he's like, he gives you that vibe of like a Steve Smith, or you know what I mean? Like not exactly, but like he's got that I'm better than you attitude. You know what I mean? I just love that
which is great as long as you put the work in, and
that's it.
That's it. As long as you're dedicated, that's confidence is good.
Yeah, there was that famous clip of him just tossing the defensive back on his ass, and like that's the kind of shit that he brings that attitude to the game. I like that.
So it was offsetting penalties. Okay, so 3rd and 5 now. Yeah, looks like it was offsetting. Okay. It would be funny if this game ended like an illegal man downfield penalty or something like that, wouldn't it?
We need less of those. I'll tell you that much. They should give at least a bigger box for them to run in, make it more yards that they could be downfield. This would be hysterical if the Steelers took this game.
Yeah, it would.
Browns fans would be jumping off of buildings. Seriously.
I mean, if this happened, seriously, I would be playing Browns podcast, Browns radio. I'd be playing Adam the Bull. I just every Cleveland announcer, I would be just like I did this week, to be honest. But oh my gosh, I'd be subscribing to everything Cleveland this week if they lose this game.
With the Dolphins, if the Dolphins beat the Bills, then the Dolphins fans have something to really crow about. But if the Bills smoke them, then maybe the Dolphins just had one weird game against the Ravens. Yeah.
What's anybody know what the number of points, like what the line is for total points in that game?
No.
I don't either. Not that I bet this type of stuff, but I'm just thinking for that game. It's gotta be high.
And you have to consider with the Ravens game, they're up 21 points in the fourth quarter. Their defensive backs are banged up. It's the same kind of thing. It was, it was a fertile environment for that kind of momentum shift. And
there were a lot of busted coverages, and they have really fast people. They're calling them the what are they calling them?
I don't know.
The Burn Bros or I forget what the Blur Brothers.
Blur?
Blur Brothers. Waddle and Cheetah.
Sounds like a pretty good T-shirt. Put all kinds of blurry print on it if you wanted to, I guess. But
Blur Brothers.
Blur Brothers.
Trubisky, tried to go to Freiermuth. Not going to happen.
Maybe if you'd done that in the first 3 quarters, Pittsburgh wouldn't be trailing right now.
Yeah, but
so they got to get.
They got to get through outside. Then hey,
they wanted him to threaten the outside. That was the whole.
That was the game plan. Makes sense.
Yeah. Oof, that was a nice play by the defense.
Well, I'll tell you what, who's the Cleveland defensive coordinator? Joe Woods, I think it is. He has been under fire. We think Jets fans are tough on Jeff Ulbrich. The way Cleveland fans have been on Joe Woods is just they want him torched. Oh my goodness, out in the worst way.
Flag down.
Oh my gosh, too many men on the field.
On the Steelers.
It's a 4th and on Cleveland. 4th and 5. How do you have 4th and 5? Too many men on the field. You talk about a lack of discipline. If that's what this is, that is
fire Stefanski.
Wow. You give him a whole new set of downs.
Stefanski's going to get fired.
What just happened?
It was 4th and 5 on the Cleveland 21 for Pittsburgh, and Cleveland gets too many men on the field.
Oh my God.
On 4th and 5.
Now they get another shot at the end zone. Another 4 shots at the end zone.
Yeah. 151. They still have one timeout. That's ample amount of time.
Dude.
The hardest thing, converting the onside kick. That's their biggest challenge here. If they can do this.
Oh my God, that's incredible.
Then
Dude,
again, it's the Cleveland. It is the Cleveland Browns. I mean,
If the Steelers do an onside and recover, where that happens twice in a row,
there will be a 30 for 30 made this week if that happens.
onside mania. Oh, they're going for the field goal again. So
Yeah, they just did it.
And it's good. 23-17. It's
They didn't. I don't. Yeah, I
Are
guess.
they thinking they can
one.
kick it off and get the ball back?
I would have
with
gone.
one
I would
timeout?
have went for it, man. I would have
Oh,
went for
boy.
it.
I don't know if I like this call.
No, you. Well,
I trust my Tomlin, but
no, you got to take the points here.
I understand, but with 3 feet,
this soon.
You got to take the points. You can't risk it.
no, because the thing is,
You
how
need to recover it anyway.
You're not. I know, but you're getting all the way down there.
That's easier than risking it. You need the field goal at some point anyway. Take it now. Then you need to recover the onside anyway, so you might as well. And you got plenty of time. 148. That's plenty.
With
That's not a problem.
148 and one timeout, do they have
Yeah.
to kick onside at this point, or can they
Yes.
possibly kick it down the field,
No.
stop the
No.
clock? Okay, so it's not enough time then. All right, fine.
No way.
All right, you never know.
You got to do onside. They should do the same onsides we just did.
Totally, exactly.
Do the same thing. Everybody point to the right and kick it to the left.
To the left, to the left, to the left.
Get
to
Will
the left.
Parks in there. Who's your
Out of
version of
Wilbur
Justin
Martin.
Hardy? Get him in there.
There's only one Justin Hardy in the world. Nobody else like him.
They gotta have a version of him.
Just send Fryermuth in there. He'll blow everybody up.
I'll tell you somebody who's been blowing people up, Jeremy Ruckert.
Yeah,
He had
Quiet.
some nice blocks.
yeah. Quiet in the receptions, but he's been
he dropped them.
solid, dude.
Did you
Oh,
see
oh,
what
it's-
Middleton said about his drop?
No, I didn't.
He said, that was the most shocking thing about him since he got here was that he dropped that pass.
Really?
He said that kid can catch a BB in the dark.
So let's turn the lights off in the stadium next time.
Right.
For crying out loud.
How do
Holy
you not
cow.
love Coach Mid?
I'm
Come
telling
on.
you, I've never heard that before. That's brilliant. A BB in the dark.
A BB in the that is
Gotta love Coach Mid.
Oh my God! Oh my God! I thought they were, dude. That was so close. I thought it was gonna happen.
They did the onside kick.
There's a flag on it.
Oh, then go 10 yards.
Oh, that's just gonna be the. I'm sorry if I'm ahead of you guys. That was fucking unbelievable. Watch.
It's
you'll-
okay. I
you'll-
can't see
you'll-
it. So
Oh,
Yeah, you'll see.
okay.
close.
It made it past the line, dude.
But they didn't do the same skiddly do that we did. That's stupid. They should have seen what happened with us and done the same skiddly do.
It's exactly the same. We just
Dummy.
wrote the book on how to do an onside kick.
Yeah. Obviously.
You could try to beat the Jets, but that doesn't mean you can beat the Jets.
Coach Boyer.
Pittsburgh wishes they could be us, but they can't.
Imagine the Steelers lose this game, and imagine we beat the freaking Bengals, and we go into the Steelers stadium 2-1, and they're 1-2. Give me a break. I can't even imagine it.
I know.
And Pickens was offside anyway, so
Oh,
right.
stupid Pickens. See, I told you he stunk.
no talent. No talent. He's never going to make
What a
it.
no talent hack. He doesn't even know how to stay on sides on a freaking onside kick. That'll teach him.
He's one of those guys. He makes the most brilliant catch in the world, and he's a doof. And he steps
Offsides.
offsides on you.
Well, that's going to be the end of this. And so it is
Look at
that holy cow. We got
I mean,
some
they only have one
narratives,
time.
man.
I mean, they only have one timeout. I mean,
It's going to be a run play, timeout.
you'll run out most of it, not all of it, but most of it.
Run play. I think they can, yeah. Well, one first down and it's over for sure, but
Wait, right. But I don't think they can run the whole clock out. But if they have the ball at midfield, basically.
You
Yeah,
know,
they could kick a
Modine,
field goal from
I
here.
just want to say this, Modine. Look at how you spin it. You see how negative you are? 1 second before what you're saying, it was one score. 1 second before what you're talking about, it was a one-score game. 7 points. So I know what you're trying to do here, but boy, oh boy, are you just might be the most negative person I've ever met.
Yeah.
I want you to know that.
Yep.
Good luck with that.
It's like we were down 2 scores before the miracle. Yeah, because a couple of seconds before the miracle, they just scored the friggin' last touchdown. You fool! Come on, Mo, be better than that.
We can just write Mo's comments for him. We should just
say right. At least
it's like no surprise. Like
at least he's got a sense of humor. That's Pittsburgh
the thing. Will blow us out. Miami's going to beat us by 40. The Patriots are going to put up another 55 burger on us. We all know
I think Jets Forever and Mo Dean are like alter egos of one another. It just depends it depends what side of the bed they woke up on that morning.
They're probably 10-cent army people.
Yeah.
Chubb got 6. Chubb got 6.
What are you even doing? Oh, because they called timeout.
Yeah.
Now let it go all the way down, and they're a yard away. So basically 1 yard for the game. Can you get a yard?
Yeah, they'll get it. I mean, they're running 5 to 9, 10 yards.
They must be over 200 by now, right?
I was just going to ask, Watsy K, you see what do the Browns have?
Chubb's got 113 himself and a tutty.
Say again, GreenBean. I'm sorry.
What do the Browns got rushing wise this game? Can you see it?
Yeah. I could do it.
Chubb is such a
Browns got 171.
Oh, that's it.
171.
I thought they were over 200.
Not yet.
They don't even hike it. What?
37 attempts. So that's 4.6 yards per rush.
So you wonder why you call a timeout there. Like, does more time come off the clock if you just continue the play into, as the clock keeps going? Or does more time come off if you stop it and then restart it? Or is it exactly the same?
I think it's the same, Frankie.
I think it's the same as well. All right, Cleveland's got their 99.9% win chance.
Oh, second effort. Holy macaroni.
They got the first down?
Yeah, I mean, it looked like he was stuffed. And he second effort. That's a first. Unless they say, I mean, dude, they're giving him a weird spot. They're giving him a weird spot.
I just want Pittsburgh to have one play. Oh, just one shot.
You got to challenge it.
They're giving him a weird spot. You got to
challenge it. No, because this one over here is off. The other guy's got it right.
Oh, he made it past that.
Challenge it.
This is fucking crazy, man. They're bringing out the chains. This is nuts.
No, that's a good spot.
Yeah, it was marked short. I thought he got past that. Make it too long. I want to see more fun.
Well, they'll challenge it.
Oh, he made it to first. It's funny. I saw somebody. They said, it's 2022. Can we get the chains off the field? Like, why do we?
Why is that? Why can't we have some sort of technology solution there?
Yeah, it's the only way to do it.
Chains.
Like because they got to keep a couple guys employed, so you got to keep 2 more guys.
Well, I think you know what though. I mean, would you trust that they just have a computer and they go, nope, we already looked at it? Would you?
There's got to be some kind of way to do it where it's not like you can't cheat. I mean, the old manual way, you can't cheat. How are you going to cheat it? Like.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about the spot. That's the only place. That's the only spot you can cheat it. Look at that, dude. They had him there. Second effort, man. He just kept chugging.
Well, as of right now, we're better than the Steelers.
That's it.
As of right now, we are better than the Steelers. We are more successful than the Steelers. Sorry, Yinsburgers. Boy, look at that. Yeah, he got it. What are we talking about here?
But do you think the spot could mess this up?
He got it. There's not enough evidence.
Yeah, he got it. I know.
All right.
He got it. It's right there. I mean, yeah, it's right there. Modine would trust a computer, he says, because the chain guys are under the same union as a baseball umpire.
Exactly. That's the whole point. You got one guy holds one side of the chain, the other guy gives him more jobs.
Well, whatever the new solution is, that'll create jobs too. Just those people have new jobs.
Yeah, and then these guys graduate, then Mike Carey, Dean Blandino, Gene Steratore, they get paid millions of dollars to go into the networks for whatever reason.
But there's got to be some sort of like laser, some sort of like light laser thing that you could do instead of the chains. But then somebody has to operate the lasers, like
probably costs more. Well, not the money would have anything to do with it, but
no. NFL's got plenty of money.
Plenty.
Yep. That's not the issue ever.
Yeah. Every time like Roger Goodell sneezes, they make $500,000 right there.
Right.
You know what they should have, though? Here's a controversial idea. Fluorescent footballs. Think about it. You could see it so much better. You could spot the ball better. You could see, did he catch it? Did he not catch it? Like a fluorescent green or orange or something. Controversial, I said. Controversial.
Yeah, I don't know.
Let's see it. You know what? Let's try it in the XFL first. See what happens.
Yeah. I'm all for that.
Do that.
And
do that.
The USFL. They should try out all kinds of ideas in the XFL.
Hey, Skycam was one of them, and that turned out to be a fantastic idea.
Yeah, it is.
Yep.
They should try out all kinds of ideas.
I think Harris Bornstein has a really good take, though. The chain is dramatic, and they like it. It's true.
You can make the new way dramatic. We can make the new way even more dramatic. We'll have a curtain call. The curtain will open, and then you'll see it. How about that?
Yeah. Maybe. I know. Day glow ball. I don't know. I mean, look, and my reason for not wanting the day glow ball is very, very, it's just I don't like it. I just don't like the
But if you got used to that's because you're not used to it.
Totally.
If you saw it in the XFL and the USFL, you would like
Dude, guys, the call was reversed.
What?
I can't hear it.
Does that mean fourth down?
No way.
That means fourth down.
Oh,
you gotta go for it. Well, they could kick a field goal.
They're on the 37. Do you trust York in the spot?
54-yarder.
He got a big leg.
He's got the
leg.
He
did, but he's missed 2 extra points.
36 seconds. You could either go for it.
No,
50 seconds.
He got 40 seconds. Right. Went back up to 40 seconds.
Oh boy.
Stefanski's got to be. The Browns fans got to be so drunk. It's unbelievable.
They got to be on the ground right now. They're drinking so much Great Lakes beer right now. Oh my gosh.
Nobody's going to work in Cleveland tomorrow.
Oh, they're having heart attacks.
No.
Oh, their beards are all turning white.
Thank God tomorrow's Friday for them anyway. So they could half-ass it anyway.
Take the day off. Right.
Here's what I do. Sneak it. You got the greatest sneaker in the world. Jake Brissett is a great sneaker. Sneak it.
Oh, they're just trying to draw him off. That's all.
Sneak it. Take it and sneak it. What?
They take a 5-yard penalty? Is that what happened?
Well, if they're going to punt.
Oh, timeout by Cleveland? They call timeout? They are punting.
No,
they're going to give the ball back?
No, they called a timeout. They're going to kick it.
But there's time coming off, though.
They just wanted to use the clock. That's smart. They used the clock.
Oh, 15 seconds.
Call the timeout.
Oh, okay.
Smart.
Okay.
Now they'll bring the field goal unit out.
Yeah, it says timeout 2 by Cleveland at 15 seconds.
So even if they miss it, they're only giving the Steelers, 10 seconds, 12 seconds.
Hey,
that might be all they needed.
13 against the Bills.
Yeah, but that was Patrick Mahomes. but I get it. Yeah,
but that was the Bills.
Mm-hmm. And Tyreek Hill.
And Kelsey.
Kelsey. Yep.
So here's Bojorquez. They're gonna punt it.
They're punting it. Holy!
They're not kicking the field goal.
They're not. They're punting it.
They don't trust Cade York. It'd be 55, and he's made it 58.
If you punt it inbounds, I mean, they're gonna have 10 seconds to go 80 yards.
Well, that Borquez is a very good punter. Like he was really.
But is he a good directional punter?
Dude, he put it at the 2-yard line, dude, or 3.
He was good against the Jets too. Yeah, I thought Borquez did very well.
He has a big leg, that's for sure. Let's see how he directs it.
That's perfect. Perfect.
Please let this be blocked.
Can you not hear me? It's perfect.
All right, now he's got to go 94 6 yards in 9 seconds. Yeah, it's impossible. There's no way. With no timeouts, no way.
Yeah. There'd have to be a penalty or
Great
something.
punt. Good job. Boy.
Yep, Borquez. See, Kevin Stefanski, he knows how to coach.
He knows how to pick punters out of the free agency market.
That's a start. Every great team starts with a punter. It's a fact of life.
I don't know about that.
This is stupid. Going backwards, boys. Yeah, it's over.
All right.
Safety.
Oh, so yeah, so 25
Oh, it's a touchdown, actually. It's a touchdown. Cleveland gets a touchdown. Safety. The hell am I thinking? That was terrible, Gangrene. I'm with you.
All right.
Ugh.
I know that was terrible. They should have just threw the damn ball downfield.
Yeah, except they have Trubisky. So touchdown. So 29-17, which is pretty close to the score that our game should have been, except for the miracle part.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
So basically, we're the Steelers. We are the Steelers. The way I see it. Boy, you really wonder what they're going to do at QB. That's going to be interesting.
It is. All right, guys. Well, this is now a 3.5 hour show. We decided to watch football together instead. All's well. We had a good time. We defeated Y2K once again. I thought we were done. I got to admit, I thought we were done for this time. So Y2K, quickly, what's big? What's coming up? What do you got? What's next on the radar for you, buddy?
Boy, this Sunday I'm actually hosting Jets Trivia at AJ Gators. The theme of the trivia contest is going to be the 2021 Jets season. Winner gets a $20 Jets gift card to the official Jets team store. Looking forward to that. And in the next 2 days, I'll be putting out my 5 bold predictions for Jets versus Bengals. And I'm going to start doing videos for my confidence picks, where I will pick the winner of every game and rank them by most confident to least confident. Something I've been doing for a lot of years, and now I'm going to take it to YouTube. So excited to share that with you.
Nice. New York Sports Media. New York Sports Wicker Media. Sorry, everybody. Don't forget to support Y2K. Frankie, what's coming up, bud?
Frankie for Flatbush channel. We got coffee with Frankie on Sunday. So Sunday, 11 a.m., come hang out with Frankie before the game. We talk about what's going on, who's active, who's inactive, the latest news. Why are they not playing Denzel Mims? All sorts of stuff just like that.
There it is, Frankie from Flatbush. And don't forget, you are watching Greenbeanjetsfan. If you have not liked the video, please do on your way out. If you are not a subscriber, I would love to have you aboard. If you want more exclusive content, which we'll be picking up big time this week, we are rewatching The Midnight Miracle together this Wednesday night. You can join the Beanbaggers. The link is in the description. Guys, if you're looking to save money on gasoline, the link is also in the description. This is getting, look, this app is the best thing in the world. Again, they're not a sponsor. They're just something I use. I have about 30 people out there that I've turned on to this thing, and I've been thanked profusely. It's a good thing. And if you sign up using my little link down there, use my little promo code, whatever the hell it is, then we each get 15% off on your first time you fill up per gallon, additional to whatever the gas station is given. That link is in there as well. Go ahead and sign up, save yourself some gas. Guys, thanks for watching. It's been a great show. Victory Thursday, always fun. Have a good night, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Yeah, here we come, baby. Here we come. Here come the Jets, man. I want to kiss you.
Thanks, Joe.
Yeah! You want to run or you want to duck down? You want to duck, just go over and get onto the bench and stay there.
You play to win the game.
My message for the fans, we're all frustrated with where we are right now.
Jets, Jets, Jets.